I'm Rezlar.
I'm Frosty.
As nobody's really engaged quite yet.
Yep. Oh, there we have a bit of. Oh, was that a triple stun for the Mystic?
And welcome back to the Value Pack. And welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Value Pack. I guess we should get this out of the way first. If you watched the tier list, I just want to do this at the very beginning so everybody's aware. If you watched the tier list video, there was actually a mistake on there that Frosty caught after we had published it. Valk.
Well, a commenter caught
it.
You
told me. Yeah, but you told me. Valk ended up getting put in C, right? It got put in C.
Correct.
And it should not have been there. So I put it in C. I don't remember why I put it in C, but I put it in C, even though I had it as a C and Frosty had it as a B. So it should have gone in C+. Excuse me. So technically speaking, ITEX, Valk is not the worst class in the game. It's just as bad as Maywa and DK. So anyway, if you watch the tier list, I just wanted to offer that correction real quick. Valk actually should have been in C+ overall with Maywa and DK. Still not the best class in the game, but yeah, C+. Also, I did want to point out just a couple of things that I was hearing about the tier list. One of the things was, why aren't the classes spread out amongst the entirety of the tier list? That's because if we're giving something an F, that means it's like literally dog shit unplayable, and that would be 0 of the classes. 0 of the classes are actually, in my opinion, bad. To me,
except Valk.
To me, the reason why like the C was our lowest grade was because C is like, this class is struggling. It's a bit of a struggle. It's not doing too hot, but it's not like it's unplayable. It's not like you should stay away from it, right? Like a C is a C. A C is, exactly what you think a C is if you're thinking back to your high school or college days looking at your grades. Like, it's okay. It's okay. It's not good. It's okay. So that's why we didn't spread everything out, put Valk and Maywa and DK in F tier and say this shit's garbage, because it's not. Another popular thing that I kept seeing is that this is the worst tier list I've ever seen in my life. It's all opinion. Like, I don't know why that's such a confusing thing to understand. Obviously, this is just our opinions on the state of the game. There is no correct tier list. Like, everybody has their own opinion on what the classes should be ranked where. So just because we believe that Wizard and Witch are both an S tier class, and you're telling me that, oh no, Wizard is actually way worse than Witch, it's actually an A class. Okay, dude, like, that's your opinion, and I respect it. I don't agree with it, but I respect it. I'm not gonna, ask you to or mock you for putting Wizard in A tier. Like, it's just so strange. People get so hostile over these things, but it's all just opinions, man. There's no reason to get like upset over these things. So,
well, you know what? I rewatched the tier list video, and actually, I hated everything you said. Ooh. So I get it.
Well,
no, look. Here's the thing. The thing is, it is totally opinion. That's what I think a lot of people don't really understand, and I think it was generally pretty fair. Like, you might want to move a class or two, but overall, the tier list is pretty fair, and it wasn't based just on, at least for me, just my opinion. It's kind of what I hear from my friends and the people I know and other people in the community. But I mean, there's always going to be someone that got Valk ulted like one too many times, and they'd put Valk in an A tier, much, yeah. Like in a war. So yeah, it is what it is. But I think it was pretty good. My favorite thing, someone left a comment that said that it was a trash tier list, one of the worst he's ever seen. And then this is actually in a completely different thread too, not related to the tier list. And because someone recommended watching it, and he's like, oh, that was, no offense, but that was the worst tier list I've ever seen. And then the guy was like, oh, what would you put? And he literally listed almost the exact same classes we put. The only difference is he put Valk higher in Siege. I was
Yeah.
like, okay.
But
Hold on.
also another thing, like people kept saying like, oh, you should do individual tier lists for 1v1s in large scale and small scale, and then average all of those together in another video. Like, okay, that is why I had the notepad up on the left side. I understand it was a very small portion of the screen, but that's why it was there. So if you were ever confused as to why we were putting something where we were putting it, you could refer to the grades that we gave a class individually, 1v1, large scale, PvE, and aesthetic, but aesthetic didn't weigh anything. It was just purely, for the fun of it, basically.
Right.
And you can make it out from there. You can figure it out from there, basically.
I'm gonna try to convince you, Rezlar, on our next one to do 2 lists that are small scale and large scale, and then people can make the final grade as they want, and then PvE just fuck it.
PvE, just
Because-
fuck it.
Well, my thing is like, it is rough mixing in. I understand the people being a little bit like, well, wait, PvE, because it's such a different play style and affects the class in such a different way. So for it waiting on shit is interesting for PvP, right? Because I don't know, people just don't understand, I guess. But I wouldn't mind separating PvE specifically.
I don't think I mind either, as long as we make clear that if we're gonna do a PvP class tier list instead of an overall class tier list, it needs to be stated as such.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. For
So
sure.
like if we're counting in for everything, then it obviously needs to be put in. But if we say, hey, this is a tier list specifically meant for PvP, we're only gonna be talking about large scale, small scale, and 1v1s, then yeah, I mean I'm fine with that too. I don't care either way. But we just need to make clear what we're judging the classes on when we're making the tier list.
Yeah. But overall, it was cool. It was fun.
Yeah.
It went way longer than.
It went way longer, which was another complaint, which was kind of weird to me that people were complaining about that, because would you rather us just make a 10-minute video where we just slap shit on there, don't explain our opinion at all, and then say fucking deal with it? Like,
Yes, they would, because they didn't listen to it anyway.
yeah, right. Most people didn't listen to it, but like we actually like took the time to explain why we were giving things the grades we were giving it. And if you actually just sit down and listen to us explaining it, I feel like most people will come out of it going like, yeah, I can see where they're coming from. I may not agree with it, but I can kind of see why they're making the points that they're making. But of course, most people don't do that. Most people just skip to the end and then say, this is the worst fucking thing I've ever seen in my fucking life. You guys are fucking retards. Like,
Well, I love when they don't even hide it. They're like, saw Warrior and B, stopped watching.
yeah. My favorite thing was after I posted it, like 10 minutes after I posted it, someone commented something to that effect, like, this is the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. I was like, dude, you haven't even watched like 1% of this video, and you're already
Yeah,
telling me
that's
that this whole thing is fucked up. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
But I mean, it's to
Yeah.
be expected. Tier lists are always so like stupidly controversial. I say stupidly because it shouldn't be, because again, it's all just opinion based. But for some reason, people act like my opinion is an affront on their opinion if the opinions are different. So they're like, I'm being attacked because your opinion's different. Ah! And it's like, dude, just relax.
I was having the time of my life.
Oh, you
dude.
were.
There's nothing I enjoy more than like arguing on Reddit. So that shit was actually really
Yeah,
fun.
you were like,
that whole next day was like Christmas morning.
you
for
were
me,
like
dude.
linking.
I was opening all these.
Yeah, you were like linking evidence. You were like, actually, here's why you're fucking wrong, you idiot, and like linking YouTube videos and shit.
I never say that. I don't say fucking. I don't call people
No,
idiots. I'm not
obviously,
insulted.
but you were.
I'm condescending, but I'm not.
You were. I did see a couple of instances where you were like, "What are you even talking about? Here's exactly proving you wrong, basically," and then just like
I
linking
know.
a YouTube video.
Yeah, one of the examples, wizards and witches still think that they're the worst at PvE for some reason,
Right.
even though there's a bunch of classes that are way, way, way worse. And so like someone was saying like, what? The PvE is so bad on wizard and witch, like absolute bottom tier. Why would you rank them so high? And then I was like, well, because they're not really bottom tier. And I linked like wizard witch, like a bunch of videos of them grinding and the trash they get in an hour. And he was like, yeah, exactly. Proof that they suck. And I'm like, wait. That they're literally only worse than 3 of the classes. The 3 like OP fucking classes in PV, and they're better than everybody else.
Right, dude. It's like,
Anyway,
dude, if I can't just spam Voltaic, Pulse, and Thunderstorm and make as much money as a Mystic in Histria, this class is garbage. Like, what do you want from me?
yeah. Well, that's another thing too. This is actually not even just necessarily related to the tier list, but when people compare classes, it's interesting too that they always, not always, but a lot of the time they'll compare to the class that's kind of busted. Like, I think it's safe to say that Mystic pulling in 3600 trash at 245 with Kudums probably not fair.
Yeah,
So to
right.
compare it to that and be like, wait, how can you say Wizard's good if Mystic pulls this? It's like, well, because Mystic's busted. I don't know. Yeah.
Sorry, go on.
Anyway, we should probably I was gonna say we should probably move on with.
Well, I was gonna say on
Not
a
good,
final
but-
note, I did see a couple of really good suggestions. A couple people were saying, well, why not add a small scale category? The reason I kind of left it out this time, where we tried to kept it in last time, is because I think small scale is a little hard to define. One commenter I saw was like, it shouldn't matter if it's hard to define as long as it is defined when you rank it. And I think that's actually true, and that's probably what we should have done in the first place. We should have just said, we know small scale is malleable, and nobody really has a definitive like definition of what it is, but here's what we're saying it is. And then we should have given it a rank on that as well, which is definitely something that we can do in the future. Another thing that another good suggestion I saw was class complexity. We definitely did touch on that a lot, especially with the classes that were more complex. But giving it an actual visual grade for people who maybe are using the tier list to help them pick the class definitely would have been extremely helpful. So that is also something that we are definitely going to consider doing in the future. But anyway, yeah, thanks everybody for checking out the tier list. And thanks everybody for leaving a comment. Even if you were extremely rude, we still appreciate it. Our guest today, he is a longtime warrior. He is a very well-known member of the community, a very good PvPer. Is Vangertz. Welcome, Vangertz.
Hey, what's up? Thanks for having me.
What's up, man? Now, you didn't watch the tier list, right? You skipped to the end of it and then started complaining about how warrior should be C tier?
No, and actually my friend showed me a screenshot of the tier list, and I said, what's this? And they were saying that, oh, it's a tier list that the Value Pack made. And I'm like, oh, okay. I was like, why is warrior on B? And he was like, I know, right? Like, and then it was a pretty funny experience. And then I looked over. I only saw like the first 15 minutes. I couldn't really watch it at all as much as I wanted to. But then I got really busy, so I didn't really get a chance to really watch it. Because I like to watch your guys' Value Pack podcast when I'm grinding.
Right. So, in your opinion, let's go just through the 3 categories. I'm just kind of curious before we get into everything. What do you rate? Just a letter grade, just one solid letter grade. Where do you rate warrior in PvE specifically?
PvE?
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
like a C plus, at least. C
plus. So you think it's probably less than Wizard Witch in your opinion?
Yeah, a lot less. A lot less. So I'm making a wish alt for Shotcalling in Vertex, right?
Oh boy.
Okay.
We need more PAs, right? So it literally took me just an hour just to spam Voltic and Visual Wave and all that stuff.
Why not play a DP Shy?
Oh, because
that's
no, because every time, like when I'm in the main ball, right? Sometimes some of my guys, they can't react fast enough. You know, they can't do the reactionary PA. And at that, like at one point, I just got so tired of it. I said, "Fuck it, I'm making a witch." Like it got so annoying.
All right,
I think that's why most shot callers play Witch Wizard. They're like, "Fuck, I'm just so tired of this."
So what about for 1v1s warrior? Where do you rank?
It really depends on the player. Because if you look at an average warrior, and from a good warrior, it's like day and night, right? It's definitely day and night, and they move around with their awakening with head chase like so much compared to like a good warrior. They would use head chase to either close the gap or iframe a CC, and swap to Awakening and just do protection movements every now and then. But all these normal warriors, they just like to spam head chase, and they don't keep track of their iframe cooldown. And there's that. You can definitely tell right away if they spam head chase just to move around. So
if they're head chase warriors, you'd put them at a D. Where do you put the non-head chase warrior?
oh, like a let's see. I'd probably put them B+.
Okay, I could see that. I feel like if you're a really good warrior and you have the gear to kill somebody, you're pretty much capable of killing every class, but you guys have some disadvantages, right? And
Yeah.
I imagine, like, what are some of your bad matchups from your perspective?
Oh man, I think for me personally, I think tamers are really hard to fight because their grab is just so quick, and it's really hard to visually see where they grab you and where they miss their grab, right? Because I play with effects off, and I always look for hand movements and all that stuff. So tamers are so tiny, so it's kind of hard to see their hands, and they're just moving around all over the place. And another class is actually Sork for me. It's tamer than Sork, because Sork can just iframe and iframe and iframe, and like I'd really time these iframes, and like other classes, other people just say spam slows, and like, yeah, I'm trying to, but they're these Sorks players, they position themselves where they iframe like in a certain way that their next skill, which is a front guard, is going to just mitigate that damage, and they won't get debuffed. So I'm like really trying my best just to apply that slow, because that's the only thing that really counters them, in my opinion.
And then large scale overall grid.
Oh, large scale. Whew. Oh man, that's a C+.
Oh, C plus, pretty good. That's higher than I thought you'd say. I think I said C, right?
Yeah, I think we said.
Okay.
I think we said
Yeah.
C for large scale specifically. I know overall we gave it a B, but I think we gave Warriors 1v1. I think we gave it an A. I think. Let me double check that.
Yeah, I think I might have said A. I can't remember.
Hold on,
Yeah.
let me check.
Either way, it was high. So C plus.
Yeah, warrior large scale. Like once you go in, you really can't get out, because as soon as you turn your back against the enemy, they're just gonna CC you. And
So large scale, we gave Warrior a C. For PvE, we gave Warrior a B. And for 1v1, we gave Warrior an A.
Okay.
So
we're pretty in line with what
so
he's saying.
It's still close, it's still one off.
Yeah. Yeah, so when you're moving out, once you go in, you basically can't get out, because your protected movement is the forward guard. So once you're in, your back's turned to a bunch of people who are trying to CC.
Correct.
So you're kind of boned. What about once you're like in the ball, if you don't want to get out, like you're engaging in the ball, is it bad or viable, or do you have a rotation that actually is pretty, like, you can stay up?
Just all you can really do is just spam Gravedigger, slashing, and ground smashing. That's pretty much it. You just gotta rely on your healers to really look out for you and protect you, because when you're in there, your block is already fucking busted. So you can't just you can't block any incoming attacks. Head chase will only do so much, but you know how laggy and desyncy it gets with large scale and big fights, big siege fights, big normal fights. It's pretty hectic.
Right. All right, so let's get into just the basics real quick. Let's start from the beginning. You started playing BDO how long ago? How long have you been playing, and have you taken any?
Oh, since beta. I only played for a good month, then I stopped playing because I just didn't like the way Warrior was on actually. Like, believe it or not, I didn't like Warrior at first. I didn't like the game in general. It was just too much information to take in, even though I had a friend of mine that was just guiding me through.
Yeah.
But I've been basically playing Warrior from the start. I took a break, like a couple months break during pre-Medaya. Then I came back with the Awakening when we got our Awakening, and even then it was still hard. Like at that point, I was trying to figure out if I want to play Warrior or Musa, but then I just eventually stuck with warrior because of how at the time it was pretty linear. You know, nobody knew how to really combo, and everything was just okay at the time. So I stuck with warrior.
Right. And you're in
Yeah.
Vertex, right? And you've been in Vertex for a long time now. Like you're an OG Vertex
I wouldn't
person. You stuck with
I
them
wouldn't
through
say
thick
I'm
and
an
thin?
OG. I've definitely seen them around longer than I've been in the guild. I've only been in the guild for about a year or so, but they've been around since since the start, since Vidani and I think Sav, since they made it like at the beginning of the game.
Right. And you guys are back in Siege again, right? And you're their shot.
Yeah, so I wouldn't say I'm their main shot caller. I just shot call when things get heated. I like to think I'm the main shot caller, but I just do my own thing, try to move the ball around.
Yeah. Have you always shot called for them, or like back when Vidani was in there?
Never. Dude, those guys were gods. Like there was no reason for me to step in. I like the way they shot call, but for the most part, I was just in the battlefield. I was just a soldier, not doing anything. Well, not like that, but I wasn't stepping in for them. I was just being a soldier.
Dude, shot calling is nerve wracking. We did a whole episode on shot calling. Who are your favorite shot
Obviously,
callers?
Budani, Sasha, and who else? There was a third one. I just forgot.
Frosty.
No, dude, I hate my shot.
Yeah, I think those two, and obviously Sav, Vidani, and Sasha. I think Sasha it's only funny to hear Sasha for like the first 30 minutes. I don't know how but after that point, like it gets pretty like tiresome, because it's just a guy just screaming at your ear, which is funny, like all respects to Sasha. I'm not throwing shade or anything at him, but he's a really good shot caller for sure.
Yeah, when I was in there, I mean, that's the thing too, is like you see all these highlight videos and stuff of him saying really funny shit, but he also is like really, really good.
He really is. I watched one of Jackie Felix's VODs like a month ago or so when I was still trying to figure out like how to shot call right, like how to get back into it, and I was just basically stealing his lingo, his terminology, and all that stuff, just so I can get a general idea how this thing works with the new current meta and all these new classes that are coming in. This guy he macro manages a lot of things, so really just props to him. And
he didn't do the ASMR shot calling.
No, not at all.
Dude, that was my favorite, man. Like I actually thought Vudani's calling was really cool. Like the fact that, I mean, one of the things that we talked about is like, it's crazy to me that you could have like be that calm and talk, like basically you're just talking and everyone's still listening like perfectly, which
it's crystal clear, and I had a good time just being by his side, fighting alongside of him with his shot calling. I wish.
So I've never heard Sav.
Sav? Oh. It's the same. It's basically the same from what I remember. Because when I was in Vertex a year ago, I couldn't make No Wars, but I could make Siege. So they were the only two that were really shot calling, and for the most part, they sounded pretty much the same in terms of like just being calm and collective, and still able to macromanage a lot of things and keep the main ball moving.
I'm sure this is an unpopular opinion, but I still think like people should pay credit to Lucari for what he did like at the time. Cuz like people just didn't like micromanage like they do now, like the best shot callers now, right? Like people didn't really do that. It was just about getting asses in gear, and I think at that time Lucari was doing that better than like everybody else basically. At least that's my opinion.
Was he their 100% main shot caller? I thought he wasn't.
Lucari?
I guess I don't know. No, Lucari in Man Up.
No, he was.
Oh, okay.
I mean, and again, like I know like him compared to like the other people, right? Him compared to Vudani or him compared to Sasha, like obviously it's no context or no contest, but if you put him in context of the state of BDO, like whenever Man Up was at its prime, and like I would honestly argue that the reason why like shot calling became so much more than what it was because of the dominance of Man Up, really. Like people couldn't just run it Man Up and win because they just outgeared everybody. So people had to learn to get smart and develop like new tactics and shit. I don't know, just my opinion.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
I wonder what Korean shot calling is like. Like honestly, I wonder if they have an aggressive style or if they just RBF or if they're organized.
That
Whenever I watch their sieges or clips from it, I swear it just looks like they're RBF. And I have no idea what's going on. There's like not
Really?
a ball. They're just like engaging. I swear that's how it looks, but I don't.
Oh man, that's a yikes.
I mean, they're all 380 DP anyway, right? So it doesn't even matter. They're like, I don't know what PA does. It gives us 1/3 of the DP we already have.
Right, dude. Fucking dude, T1s are pretty RBF like actually. At least from early glance into it. It's pretty like I don't know, you kind of walk around in a group, but there's no actual like group fighting really. It's just kind of like, yeah, everybody just kind of do whatever you want.
Really?
Again, from our early experience, like the way we figure it, we're just now coming into the T1 scene because we're tired of either getting no fights because dead drops or getting killed by siege guilds on T2s. So we decided to go to T1s. And from our thought process, it's like, what really is the purpose of grouping if your people are just better than the other people? Like there's not much benefit to it when you can just have people be 1vxing off to the sides, picking off little groups of people, right? 2-3 people.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. There's an argument to be made, but so far we're just kind of having fun, like RBFing, and we've been performing surprisingly well with little to no coordination. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, I still think that that's a perfectly good time to actually build guild synergy between you guys and just figure out how everybody plays individually.
Oh
right?
yeah, for sure.
That's what I'm trying to do in Vertex is have these guys try to know where like a lot, so we can just have everyone know how we play as a team and all that stuff.
Right.
Because that's one of our weakest point is just moving as a ball and just responding to like really like hectic shit where like a tamer just comes in and just completely wipes us for no freaking reason because somebody couldn't react in time or nobody could have scouted the tamer coming in. But when you see somebody go in like balls deep into your ball, you know that this man is hungry for some fucking kills and he's ready to fucking die.
Yeah,
right?
you know that person's got 100.
Yeah, dude. Nothing is stopping him, not even slows. But
like
yeah,
it's always funny whenever you see a Zerker just like lava piercing into your group, you're like 100.
It's like PA1s. Burning like 6 PAs and because of a giant. But I feel like for me, right? Like since I just transitioned to this witch, it's not a full reroll. It's just for Siege and Nova, right? Having me just to react an incoming like a giant or a tamer, just having at least some people stay alive is pretty good. Because there's a lot of guilds that just have those really good RBF player skirmishers in their guilds, right? That just suicide in and just completely kill off like 10 of our players. Yeah. And vice versa.
Yeah. And it gets everyone frustrated too. Like that's the thing, is you gotta like, I don't know, get people used to that shit. Because I know in our guild, if a tamer kills 5 people in the back and it happens more than once, they all start getting like, why no one's protecting our backs? What the fuck? Like we can't PA, we can't be with the group because we're getting killed by tamers and you're not doing anything about it. It's like, well, it's your mini map.
And like I feel like they blame the shot caller for that too. And there's so much that we can really see and do. It's at that point it's a individual player skill that
Yeah.
it's really on you at the end of the day. So if you're saying that, we're getting flanked from the side, all right, we'll do what we can. But if it's still coming and like you see the shot caller just focusing the enemy that's like one render distance away, having like yelling out like there's a flanker coming, like it just it throws people off, right? So
Right.
and everybody's gonna be looking either left or right, trying to focus that one player that's gonna suicide in, and next thing you know, their main ball is coming in, and we're getting wiped from the other side.
There's nothing worse than like your whole guild is like moving somewhere, and then somebody goes, "There's a ninja coming in." Like, oh, okay, thanks. Like that tells us nothing. Thank you.
Yeah. Their army's on their way. Like, all
Yeah.
right. From where? Like now we're spinning in circles, looking around.
No, the worst thing is when you tell people like, listen, if you're gonna call something out, make sure you call it with like a direction or something. And so they
Yeah.
take that, they go, okay. Their guild's grouping on the road. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, that's better.
They're coming
but-
in from the left. All right, the left. What direction are you facing currently? So we know
Yeah.
what direction left is.
But
Okay, you're facing south.
You're
Okay, got it. They're coming from the east.
Your base is on top of a mountain. They're like, they're climbing up the mountain. Oh, okay. Where?
Yeah. I feel like every guild struggles with that, and it's just funny because I don't think there's like a perfect way to fix that solution, because it's just gonna happen every now and then. But really, just minimizing that problem would really benefit the guild.
Yeah, but we make fun of the majority, but shot callers do a lot of fucked up shit too. One of the things that Noah does a lot is he cannot get his direction straight. So he'll be like, everybody go west. And then like half of us start going west. And then he's running east. He's like, wait, no, east, sorry, east, look east. And it's like, oh my God.
I definitely do that sometimes. I'm not gonna lie. It's kind of hard.
happens to
It happens.
everybody.
Yeah, it's hard, man. But the best way to fix that is just realizing like where you fuck up, right?
Right.
Yeah, it's also hard when you're dead or on the ground or in observed mode. It makes it a little bit more difficult. Your perspective's all like thrown off.
For sure.
Yeah, shot calling's a bitch, man. It's like we always describe it. It's like it's a thankless gig. Like unless you're one of the 2 or 3 best on the whole server, everyone hates your shot calling.
Yeah, I like it though. At the end of the day, it keeps me going. I don't really have a lot of things that motivates me in this game other than shot calling. So if I wasn't shot calling for this guild, I probably wouldn't be on as much. I would probably still be like PvPing, attending Node Wars or Siege, but for the most part, the shot calling is what's keeping me around.
You'd be playing classic WoW.
Oh, yikes.
Nice. Yeah.
And
there's nothing
Yeah,
worse.
you still-
There's nothing worse than like people not listening, dude. That's the fucking worst, because it's like, how, like, what can I do? Like, if I tell people to group here, and at the end of the day they're just not grouping here, what am I supposed to do? Unless you're in like a super hardcore guild like Black Rose, right? And Sasha just kicks those people. Like, what are you supposed to do?
Yeah, there's also when when we call people to retreat, even after already like pre-planning like where we're gonna retreat, like from the west or east or anything, like there's still people that retreat from a different direction, and then some people I don't know, accidentally follow that player that's going in the opposite direction where the main ball is going. And also the terrain is what really fucks people up from what I've seen in Vertex. There's just a lot of barricades, a lot of like, especially when we plan in Calpheon, like in the north, then like North Calpheon, there's a lot of shit in the way. So when people like get stuck, they like panic and just go in a different way. Like
they're
like, why am I stuck?
I'm just imagining that scene in the beginning of the Disney movie A Bug's Life, where the fucking leaf falls on the ground in front of the ant line, and the ant looks at the leaf. He's like looking around, and he just screams, "I'm lost!"
Yo, my friend, somebody in Vertex actually linked that clip and just started blaming everybody in the guild when we lost that node war, because we just couldn't. We didn't like these guys just couldn't know where to go.
Yeah. So speaking of Vertex, you guys got a lot stronger. So we actually fought you guys last week. We were in like a 2v1.
Yeah.
I think it was 2v1. Was there a third guild? I can't
No,
remember.
it was 2v1. It was us against Filter and Hex.
Hex and Filter. Yeah. So you guys got like a semi merger from Hate. Like that boosted you guys a lot, because if I remember correctly, right after that, you guys had that drama-filled stalemate with Vexus. I was murking in Vexus that day on Valencia. Remember? Were you there?
Yeah,
for that one?
I was there. I didn't know exactly what was going on with the Diplo, but Vexus, we just got tired of Vexus's bullshit and how like they were like saying, for sure, man, we'll promise you the castle next week. And then this is not the first time it happens, by the way. This happened like months ago. So they promise us one thing, then something happens that's out of their control, and we're sitting there with our dicks out, like, where's our castle, dog? Like, what? Where's the promise? Like, and we just got tired of that shit.
Right.
And it's one of the reasons why that happened on that day, why we did it. And on that day, I was shot calling, and I just got so frustrated because Vexus wasn't doing like what we wanted them to do. At that point, I just said, fuck it, we're gonna lead this shit. Tell Vexus to do this shit while we do this other shit. And it was just a blender for 2 hours and 30 minutes. And that really just put a strain, and like it stressed me the fuck out because I wasn't having fun at that point, right? And that's why that happened. And at that point, when we tried to kill them, right, and take the region, we were fucking burnt out, man. It was just a stressful day for us because we didn't like getting fucking blender like that. We're not fucking dogs like them. We're not gonna go around.
For context, Vexus and Vexus and Vertex had a 2v1 against Black Rose in the castle for 2 hours and 30 minutes. It was awful. That shit is not fun, dude.
I even told one of our guys who is in charge of cross comms, like, tell Vexus to fucking man up. Tell Sasha that we want the region now, just so we can get this shit over with, right?
Right.
Everybody wants to go home.
BR needs their stormtroopers, dude. That's the trade-off. Like, yeah, we'll give you the castle. Right. Give our whole front page stormtrooper, and you can have the castle.
We didn't know. I think the deal was like, take one of our gates down, and the region's yours. And during that siege, BR actually CTG'd on our base, and that's how we managed to get into like the gate, like past the first gate and kill the second gate. We thought they were just gonna leave at that point, but no, they ended up staying even an hour just to get stormtroopers.
Yeah. You think if they didn't? I was thinking about this. Not to. I guess it would make Vexus and Vertex look bad, but if Black Rose didn't CTG there, we were not taking their gate, were we?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either, dog.
We made like no progress, dude. No. I was just like, oh, what's happening? And then like, wait, Black Rose CTG?
What was going on your end? Like, what did you guys hear? Because
I was in the flex, so like we were kind of separate comms, but I don't know. It was just like after a while, I was just sitting there like, what is happening, dude? Like, what? Why is this a thing?
Nobody enjoys getting farmed 2 hours. We made no progress in the first 30 minutes, and we made some little progress throughout the siege, but for the most part, it was just not fun at all. Like, it wasn't. Nobody enjoyed it besides BR.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, so outside of having to fight against Black Rose, Vertex is a lot stronger. So I'm kind of curious. It doesn't need to be drama filled necessarily, but from your point of view, where does Vertex rank now amongst the top like siege guys? Like, where do you guys put Vertex in your minds? I know it's a little bit drama, but it's
I feel like I got corrupt filter on my neck right now, just waiting to like say like we are better than them, and like we're better than Man Up and better than Bassi. In my opinion, we like everybody has their off and on days, right? We recently lost to Corrupt, like I think it was either this week or last week in a node war, in a 1v1. That was the day that like I just got tired of everyone's fucking shit, like reacting slow when I call for PAs, and that encouraged me to make a witch. So I think I think on a good day, we're definitely. Oh shit! I can hear the shadow play coming and all the Sony Vegas. I think we're definitely top 5.
You think you're top
Yeah.
5? Okay, so here, let's give. All right, so the 5. Let's just say the 5 would be, or the first 4, obviously Black Rose, Barcode, Cho, and Snake, right? Like those 4 are just kind of a whole nother level from everybody else, which is fair, right? Would you
Yeah.
those 4? But then after that, you have, I think the next 3 closest, in my opinion, would be Man Up, Vexus,
Yeah,
and
so
Vertex.
everybody's like those guys, like everybody, including us, right? Man Up, Bassi. Well, I don't think Bassi's stronger than us, or yeah. So we can just fuck them. Anyways,
Jeez.
there's
That's the shadow play right
Yeah,
there.
that's the
There it
shadow
is.
play.
we're just gonna get Serg. It's not gonna be a 1v1. They're not gonna 1v1 us. Whatever.
All right, that's how it goes.
So the top 5 is Vertex, Corrupt, and Man Up. Everybody has their off days and their good days. So that's basically my ranking list.
All right, so you think Corrupt's up there with you guys?
Yeah.
All right. I mean, Node War's a little bit different than Siege, though, right?
It definitely is. I feel like so during the day where we fought Corrupt in the 1v1, it was a 60-man node, and those guys have some good fucking skirmishers. I'm not gonna lie, these guys have like RBF gods who just RBF all day or every now and then, right? Who already know how to skirmish around. See, our problem that day was just that people were suiciding in our pack and just managed to kill like a couple of us, right? And those couple were witches, were our PAs, and that's what really got me annoyed. And I couldn't really say much to my guilds, like what's going on, like stop getting killed, do your best and just try to stay with the ball. But Corrupt definitely shines in a smaller node or scale fight, like in a 50v50, because they got their guys just suicide in there and just going for kills.
Yeah, and they recently got a new I don't know how recently, but semi-recently got a new shot caller. I think the old lead shot caller for Vixens is their shot caller, if I'm not mistaken. So that helps a lot when your shot caller gets people in line.
Definitely does. But for the most part, I think those 3 guilds are top 5 on a good day.
So are Vertex and Cho still BFF?
That's classified information.
Dude, were you there when it was Black Rose and Barcode versus Cho Nation Vertex? I imagine you probably were.
Oh, we had so many fights. Like you gotta tell.
So this was the last fight before Vertex.
Oh,
Vudani and Winters left.
So Vudani left a week after that siege happened, right? And I think when that siege happened, right, where we lost, just because we had this guy call for us, and it was just. I'm not gonna lie, it was like, and he knows this, right? We already talked about this, everybody in the guild. So it's kind of like if we bring it up now, it's kind of like I'm not trying to offend anybody in this guild or trying to offend him, right? I don't want him to think that the reason why the guild got even worse was because of his experience in that day, right? Because he was leading us during that siege. But for the most part, it was pretty bad. Definitely took a loss there, but even though we took a loss, we were still fairly strong, competing with Man Up and Bassi. I don't think Corrupt was still in Calpheon, they were a Calpheon, a real siege guild at the time. I don't know. At the time I wasn't really into Diplo, right? I wasn't into guild politics or anything like that. So my information is very limited.
So when you guys gonna sit on Valencia with Cho Nation for 10 weeks?
No, it's just,
dude. I feel like that hatred, that rivalry was fun though. The 4 guilds kind of hating each other. Well, I guess all of them. I don't know, man. Those fights were some of the most fun. It was funny because at the time I was in Black Rose, and we had just lost to you guys twice. Like, because remember, the 2 weeks before that, we lost the 2v2. Barcode got killed by Cho like pretty quickly.
Yeah.
When we were fighting Vertex, and then we had the fight before that where Haste showed up with you guys, so everyone from Black Rose was pissed that it was supposed to be a 2v2 and ended up being a 2v3. And then so I just remember like the rivalry, but the fights were like I remember going into that third fight where Black Rose and Barcode actually won. Leading into it, I was like, why are we running this back? We got clapped so hard last time. Oh no. And then we ended up winning, and it was actually like this crazy moment of like, holy shit.
Yeah,
Like,
I think the second to last fight we had against Black Rose and Barcode was I think Barcode was right in the middle of everybody, right? A middle of like we were in the south and Cho Nation was in the north, and Barcode was just right in the middle, and that's when you Barcode ended up getting wiped like really hard, like in under like 20 minutes or so, because they were just right in the middle, and Black Rose took for, they had to walk a couple distance to really just be in the fight. But during that time, he was still shot calling too. The guy that was shot calling the last siege before everything disbanded.
Yeah, those are epic, man. I was like kind of sad when I found out that people were like leaving Vertex. I was like, wait, what? Like, that's crazy. I know that was more crazy to me than the man up, just because Vertex people were at least like active, and they had like I don't know, they felt like a part of the scene, and they changed territories pretty often. They weren't just sitting in Valencia for 54 weeks. Whereas like man up's leaving, it's like that just means Valencia is open. Like, it's not like anyone ever really saw them at siege.
Right.
So yeah, I don't know. It was crazy to me. But you guys rebuilt, man. You guys are back.
We're trying.
You have a new collar. You have a whole new fresh look. Haste had to die to make you guys strong, but that's all right.
Haste definitely helped us a lot. I'm not gonna take that away from them.
Yeah.
So we're really grateful for them to come over and help us out when we needed them.
Is Bajer with you?
Yeah, he's with us.
So since Haste is now with you guys, are you guys going to start dropping on T2 40-mans?
We do. We recently, I think that's what we've been doing the past couple weeks. Is we've been planning. We've always want to plan a fight on our main days, right? But,
shocker.
But nobody comes. So during our snipe days, snipe days are usually our quote unquote like big fights, right? And our main days are snipe days, right? So it's like it's like reverse.
Right.
And it sucks because we want to still build the team synergy amongst us, right? We want to get stronger. We want to see how people react. Because
rewind back to the beginning of this podcast when I said something along the lines of, yeah, we're tired of either getting no fights with dead drops or fighting siege guilds on fucking T2s.
Yeah, I hey man, it's we I don't know, man. I don't know what to tell you. I'm not the one that's planning.
Can't we get a full community agreement that if you're a top 10 guild, like if you're in siege, like somewhere ranked in the top 10, that when you place on 30 and 40 mans, it's on T3 or T4. That way you guys always have fights with each other and not clash.
Yeah, I think they just gotta reduce the amount of node wars there are, so everybody can just have a big clusterfuck. I don't know.
They just need to force siege guilds on T3s and 4s like it should have been from the first fucking place.
Less nodes would be nice too, especially if they redistributed the pay to all the nodes and made them pay more.
Yeah.
Because there's kind of a lot of nodes to choose from every single day.
Like, honestly, just make it to where if you plant on a T2 or T1, you can't plant for siege for that week. Like, there you go. I just solved node wars.
Yeah, we for us, we don't like fights where it's just a complete steamroll. We want to have a good fight.
Yeah. All right, we can move on. Let's get back to warrior stuff, because some warrior shit's been going down these last few weeks, and you went out of your way, being the 1v1 BSL god that you are, went out of your way to test some of these new changes. So Warrior Succession came out 2 weeks ago, we had a Dark Knight on, but he was pretty excited. Etsu was excited to hear about the succession stuff. Just, maybe one day DK will get changes.
Yeah.
But at the time, while we didn't have that much information about it, people were still like trying it out or on Global Labs. But you put out a pretty long video of you 1v1ing against Ninja Phoenix, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you tested. Did you test in PvE at all, or was it just PvP?
PvP.
Just PvP. Okay, so you tested 1v1s. Did you do anything else besides 1v1?
No, that's pretty much it.
All right. So, what were your thoughts on Succession?
It's
overall.
So, man, where do I start? It's definitely different. It's not made for players who are already used to Awakening, but you can definitely switch to Succession. It's a choice, you're not being forced to at the end of the day, right?
Right.
I feel like Succession was made for console players and for players who are fairly new to the game that don't want to put the amount of hours and effort into learning like high inputs, high APMs, and learning like when to cancel. Because ever since we got that canceling mechanic back in January for Warriors, it really it really made us more mechanical. Like it basically widened the gap of a normal warrior to a really strong PvP focused warrior, right? So with this Succession, you can't really cancel, but you'll still do a lot of damage with just doing your standard combo like grab and scars into ground smash, or ground smash into scars of dusk, or grab into spinning slash. And actually, I think they recently put this in with the new buffs. You can actually do spinning slash and shield strike, like the last hit, which is like the strongest hit, and it does so much damage. Like, it's actually insane. But for the most part, it's like it really cuts a lot of corners. It does a lot of damage from little to no effort, right? So I feel like these guys are definitely trying to appeal to the more casual players who just want to get on, do decently, in large scale or 1v1s, and still be able to compete with like players who already put like so many hours into the Awakening skill tree. But if you ask me like what's better overall, obviously it's Awakening because it's more skilled, right? Succession is something for more like a I guess more of a casual player that still is able to compete but won't really like compete with Awakening players who are able to just do all these crazy combos, crazy skills. And
now, do you think it's always going to be like that, or after it's like actually live on server, that it'll be more competitive with Awakening in terms of that?
It's still on the global lab test server, so it's not officially done, right? Anything can change. Like you weren't able to do the spinning slash into shield strike like on the third hit, right? You couldn't be able to do that. Now you're able to do it, and that's probably one of our strongest combos right there. It's a strong burst, and
they're trying to make it. It seems like they're trying to make it flow better.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely, and it's still, we won't know. I don't know for sure. This might be the last buffs we get, or it might not. Who knows? Maybe as they buff other classes, they'll notice like, hey, how is Warrior gonna be able to really initiate on, let's say, Rangers, like big AoE or big AoE bursts? We gotta, compensate of how these players can move around in certain scenarios when they're put in that situation, right?
Right.
But that's just giving too much hope for these guys. I don't want to give them too much hope, It's just, I'm not, like I said, like I want to be optimistic, right? Just be positive, and look what we got. We got slight buffs. The class is pretty much still the same from what I've heard. For PvE, actually, it still competes with Awakening and Stars, and Sethian actually had the time to test the PvE, and with the Succession versus the Awakening, it was pretty much the same thing for the most part. He was still getting the same trash loot, and he was rocking.
Nice.
He was rocking the same gear as what he had in the live servers. So
that's good. So the PvE is still. How is the movement? Because that's the thing I've heard a lot about. Because you don't have head chase in Succession, and as we were talking about early on, people love head chase. Like Warriors, especially people that are not as good at warrior love spamming head chase. It's nice, quick movement. It's unprotected, but it is nice to get around with. So without that, do you feel like you're like stuck on like railroad tracks? Are you able to move well?
We actually got a buff that gave us I guess it's really hard to say if it's a shitty version of head chase. We basically got head chase on awakening. You know that little side dash we do, not the shift roll, but like the A then left, like that weird like strafe we do on the left and the right.
Is it the shield one? The weird like shield slide thing?
Yeah, I think so. I'm not sure what it's
No,
called.
are you talking about left or right and left click?
Mm-hmm.
Sideways
Or
cut?
wait,
Sideways? No, not sideways
right click.
cut. Not sideways cut. It's left and right LMB. It's like a
The
strafe,
shimmy.
like the shimmy. Yeah, the shimmy. Yeah.
Yeah, the shimmy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that has an iframe every 5 seconds.
What?
Hey,
Yeah.
no one's
Yeah.
talking about that.
No, it's pretty big. So these guys in the Warrior Discord, they say that it's shit, but I tell them, bro, it's on the global live test server. The ping is horrible. Everybody's like moving around everywhere, so it's really hard to test. We won't know for sure until it goes to the live servers. But for now, I think it's really fucking good that we actually got a fucking iframe in our pre-awakening, right?
Yeah,
Because that's
cool.
we mitigate a lot of damage if we're able to time everything right with that skill. And it doesn't even, it costs stamina, but it doesn't cost that much stamina. They also increase the distance of it.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it moves like head chase, kind of
and-
feels like it.
And most importantly, that skill flows naturally into counter.
Yep. So you got the counter damage with the iframe. So it's really
Yeah.
nice.
You can flow it into a counter spinning slash, for instance.
That came on this week's global lab changes.
Yes.
The iframe? Nice. Okay, well, see, that's good. So they're listening to the feedback, which means, I don't know. Should be happy about that. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Allow me to give you my thoughts, Vangertz, and see if maybe you agree. I was thinking whenever the skills first were released and everybody was talking about them, to me it felt like the secession was meant to be better at large scale and then worse at 1v1 as compared to the opposite for the awakening. Does that seem like it could be the case to you as well, or do you think it's just kind of something else?
If we're going the same route right now, because they recently added this buff that every time you get hit on your shield stance, you get an additional +5 DP buff, and it stacks up to like 10, if I remember correctly. It's either 5, 8, or 10. I don't know for sure.
Was that not my idea except proximity?
Basically, yeah.
God, that's awesome. That's really cool.
That's so great, right? But these.
Yeah.
Now, is that only in secession, or is that both?
Now,
secession.
So
yeah, see, dude, Frosty, this is what I've been saying the whole time. I'm telling you, dude, secession is meant to be a node war spec for warrior. I'm telling you.
I get what you're saying, but I think that's how it's turning out. But I don't think their intention is that it's supposed to be bad in 1v1 comparatively. I don't think that they're going out of their way to
I don't think so either, but I think that
maybe their main focus right now is Node War and Siege, since that's like the
well, yeah,
right?
But here's the thing: Warrior Awakening is fine in 1v1s, right? Can we agree that at the least it's fine, if not powerful, right?
Mm-hmm.
What does it struggle in? It struggles in large scale. So they say, okay, well, we're coming out with this new class system. What if we make this new class system more focused around large scale? That way, warriors that want to play warrior but want to focus on large scale can still do that. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's that far-fetched.
Well, except that you have to use a skill reset to swap, so you don't get to have both worlds, right? You have to pay money to have one or the other.
Yeah, which again enforces or reinforces my idea, right? They're like, oh, and we can make money off of this? Absolutely, that's what we're gonna do.
I don't know. I don't think that they're. I think once they feel they're comfortable in whatever they're doing, that they'll try to balance it in 1v1. Or once people figure it out, it'll probably end up being good in 1v1s also.
I would not be surprised if they basically made warrior like Witcher Wizard.
I don't think they will. I don't think they're gonna tweak at the
I mean,
1v1.
they already didn't by giving it that iframe, because they could have given magical evasion an iframe a year ago.
Yeah, but
on a
maybe
5-second
maybe
cooldown.
maybe they give Earth's response an iframe in Wizard and Witch secession. I mean, we don't know. You know, who knows?
Yeah, maybe.
These guys
possible.
just wants to, from what I'm seeing right now, these guys just want to make you pick a class, like pick a play style, right? So you're either
right.
gonna play a class that's slow but does decently well in node wars or large scale. You know, you press scars, right? It does a lot of damage. Plus, you get front guard, or you know, you do ground smash. It does a lot of damage. Or you
See,
can play. Go ahead.
not to jump ahead, but from my understanding of the Ranger secession, does that not look like it's going to be a lot more useful compared to normal Ranger in Node Wars rather than 1v1?
Oh, for sure.
No, it definitely does. But I think that that's just inherent to like what the pre-awakening was. I don't necessarily think it's like, because it's not like they made design changes. All they did is just give a bunch of range skills damage, you know,
Well, and protections.
on the Ranger. Well, and some protection, yeah. But also in large scale, isn't movement huge? And right now, the current Ranger succession, also not to get ahead, doesn't have any additional movement at all. And you kind of need some movement for large scale. Like Warrior at least has that. Ranger doesn't yet. So I don't really know. It's hard to say. I don't know. I don't know what the plan is as far as 1v1 or Siege, or if they're even thinking about it. I'm actually kind of curious though, Vangertz, and maybe you have a better idea of this since you've been spending time with it and made a video and people have been talking about it and you're in the Warrior Discord. Are they getting any feedback whatsoever from the community? Or is it just like ticket submissions through the Global Labs channel? And have you submitted feedback through there at all?
From what I've seen, no, we haven't, apart from the feedback Discord that everybody submitted and everybody was talking about. That's the only thing we submitted. There's some players who do like find bugs, you know, in the class and they just submit it, but for the most part, they don't really like tell them like, oh, we should do this, buff this or that, you know, to make the class viable. They don't do that.
Right. Yeah, I'm wondering if like maybe for now when you put in these videos, you got to put a little, hey, if you don't like this, here's where you go to set feedback on the Global Labs. Because I wonder if they're even going to listen to people if no one's saying anything. Because everyone's complaining on Reddit, which is great. Except I wonder if they even read anything on there. You know,
I bet they do.
They probably do. There's probably like one or two guys in the dev community or in the dev team that probably, you know, scopes out the area. But for the most part, I don't really think they really listen to us.
right? They listen to the Koreans. Were there a lot of people on the server testing? Like probably Koreans testing it out, right? Maybe.
No, there was a few Americans I saw. I was dueling this warrior, then this tamer. But then this tamer left, and it was just me and this warrior, and it was pretty fun. I tried to do this little shimmy, the little strafe, left and right, the iframe dash. It's just hard, so hard to pull off with this lag.
You're right. We're high on that server. Yeah. Well, your feedback is relevant then, you know? Just kidding.
Most importantly, do you believe that secession is going to make McCann's come back?
No. I think he said he didn't like it.
Yeah, I don't imagine he would.
I want him to come back because he's usually the guy who does all the homework for us. Like I just look
right. That's
I look over at him and was like, oh, okay, well, I'll add it to my thanks, bro. That's pretty much how it usually goes. But he's gone, and I've been like he used to be my guy, just where I go to, and like, did you figure out anything? And he would just tell me these things, and now that he's gone, I had to sit on my ass for like 7 hours to download the global lab test server and figure things out.
Dude, I think he'll be I have a feeling. I mean, I know he's taking a break, he said, right, because of real life stuff too. So I have a feeling though, if he's able to, when it does come out and it's actually like live, he'd be tempted.
They always come back. They
always come back. And he's one of those guys too that while everyone says you know, oh, warrior's not good and this, that, can't move, yada yada. He's one of those guys that'll be like, well, I can make it work though. Check this out.
Yeah, but the thing is that people don't see is that he he put a lot of hours into the class. He can make it work because he goes on like on a training montage, man. He just goes beast mode.
Yeah, he puts on like Eye of the Tiger and just starts practicing his side scoop timing.
Yeah.
So what do you think design wise, like visually, and how it feels to play? How is Succession on Warrior? Like the visuals and how it feels, and also like the C button controls, since that's kind of new.
I think it's it'll, like, the guys who are already used to Awakening, they won't have a hard time really just learning how to move with Succession. So because it definitely took me a while, because I was trying to, like, I have a habit of doing spinach slash and doing chopping kick right after, because spinach slash is not protected but chopping kick is. So there was times where I just kind of like, I like, why am I not doing chopping kick? What's going on? But you can't cancel out of these skills.
Right.
And I feel like if people just start realizing that and just putting the hours into like learning when to activate skills, what skills are able to be canceled, and all that stuff, I think the gameplay and the mechanics is going to be a lot smoother. But in the end of the day, Awakening is going to be a lot better, because we're able to like move in and out, corners to corners, like go around the places. We still have Solar Flare, in our Awakening. We still have Choppy Cake. We have a lot of movement to do. But for Succession, it's just for movement, it's pretty linear.
So what is that movement? Because like that extra long like sprinting thing, what's the protection on that?
It's just a front guard.
Okay, for the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is it better than the one currently on live server? Because doesn't everyone say the current one only has protection for like half the animation?
So that's just really like a theory, right? Because I've tested it out when somebody pointed out, because we don't know if it actually gives, because we thought it gave like super armor, like at the first few steps of the animation of charging thrust, right? Because I've noticed that in some points where I do engage with Soul Flare, then when I try to get out, I swap to pre-awaken and do charging thrust, but I notice I still get attacked from behind, but I don't get CC, so it's kind of weird, right? Like, it's so hard to base it off of that, because I don't know if I'm getting lucky and not getting CC, or if there's actually some sort of protection in that small time frame. But when I was playing Succession, and after I got done playing it, moved to the live servers, I was like, where's my other charging thrust, right? Like, I was getting thrown off, like, because I was already getting used to like having those 2 extra dashes at the end of charging thrust. I like it. I like charging thrust a lot. It's really nice. It gets you around places.
Yeah, it looks so funny.
I just wish you could cancel.
Like
I just wish you could cancel the fucking hit animation. So cancer if you accidentally hit somebody and you're like, well, looks like I'm dead.
Yeah. Me too, man.
That's like Lunar Dash on Kuno. It's like if they for a second dash across your crosshair, you're fucked. Design wise though, like visually, skills look nice.
I love the sound of it.
Oh, the sound effects are good?
Yeah, I love the sound of it. And the visual is all right. I always play with effects off, like the effects opacity, like I put it to the lowest. But since I wanted to record and make everything look, pretty, I turned it all the way up, and it was actually pretty good. It looked like I was like remastered effects on normal settings,
Right. So I got the impression in your video against Ninja Phoenix, it looked like you do 0 damage.
The thing about that, I kind of fucked up, because I had, for the most part, I had like good gear, right? I didn't have like all pen accessories. He was rocking like full evasion, like he was just playing like an invasion ninja. So there were times where I would able to do a lot of damage, but then after that little moment, I just do 0 damage. And he actually told me, like, after I got done recording and we hopped into Discord, he said, did you notice that I was taking off gear and putting it back on? I'm like, what? I got so confused. Like, why would you do that? Just have your gear on all the time, man. Now everyone's gonna think
funny.
like what's going on?
Well, that was the thing. You fed fuel to the fire in some sense because people watch that. I know, like I watched it and I legit was like, wow, like they gotta definitely buff the damage in PvP. Like they do nothing. And then I was like, is this the only viable combo? Because he can't even kill him with that combo. What's
Yeah,
happening?
he was rocking full evasion, but when I got on the global test server again yesterday, I was actually able to kill like these guys in like one hit, like in one combo. So
Right. All right. Yeah, I mean, Warriors like pre-awakened design in general to me has always been really boring. It's like the standard like warrior from every game kind of design, you know, sword shield with sparks. It's like, So for me, when I saw some of the videos, especially the Stars End one, that was up, the Stars End grinding one, I was like, dude, these skills actually look, even for warrior, they look really cool.
yeah,
I like the animation for pulverize, the pre-awakened pulverize.
yeah, it looks pretty neat. I wish they didn't, take out the front guard because I'm already used to like having front guard on like pulverize, right?
Yeah, right.
So what are the rules with succession? So when you have the succession tree, if you put a single point, you basically can't put a point in your awakening and vice versa, right?
Mm-hmm.
And with the absolute skills, like if it's the same name skill, you can't use the absolute version from pre-awakening.
No, you cannot.
Right. But you can use, I'm trying to think, I don't know the warrior tree as well, but like let's just say there's a skill in the warrior tree that's not in the succession list, you can still use that. A pre-awakened skill? Or are you not able to use any of your pre-awaken?
We're able to use our absolute pre-awakening like shield charge, but we can't use shield strike absolute.
Right, but shield strike in success. Okay. Got it. Okay. So you can use the ones that are not in success. So like for Ranger, for instance, I didn't see Call from the Sky in the succession. So I imagine they can still use it though for
They can.
awakening. Okay. Cool. And you can still use Verbam skills.
Yeah,
That's not
you can still
any
use Verbam skills.
Nice. Well, fuck. I don't know. You got anything to add, Rezlar? Any questions about success?
No, not particularly. I'm excited for it.
You said earlier, Vangertz, that you think Warriors grind is not good. Do you think this will help their grind in high-end spots?
Yeah, all I have to do is just spam scars and spinning slash from the looks of it. I personally didn't test out the PvE, so I can't really tell you that right now. But from what Sethian told me, or what he said on stream, he said that it's pretty much the same. But as you can see, like succession is like you just press one button and you do a lot of damage, right? As with awakening, like awakening warrior, our biggest burst is spin / cancel, like back attack damage. So we were, in order to compete with succession, we had to like time this canceling, right? As with succession, you just do spinning slash and it does a lot of damage. Plus the range is the area of spinning slash is a lot bigger than the normal spinning slash.
Right. All right. I guess that's that for succession. Let me pull this up. Let me do some of these guest questions. For anyone who hasn't seen it before, it's a new thing we're trying to do. If we know who's going to come on the show, we're going to spam you guys, put a notification in the Value Pack Discord. So if you have any questions for an upcoming guest, you can ask there. So let's see here. Hold on. All right. Guest questions. We have Nayashi asked, and I think a lot of people are kind of curious.
Shit. Here we go again. It was Nayashi.
Yeah, Nayashi. What do you think of Hole's video? So Hole, aka Deletion Warrior from back in the day who quit playing BDO, he put up a video about the Warrior succession. And like the little clip that's on there too is like the lady that's on the ground with the Warrior logo, and it says "I've fallen and I can't get up." So yeah, what do you think of Hole's video?
I watched it, all of it, every single part, every second, everything. Well, it didn't really help the fact that but a lot of people hate us, right? Like we're probably like the second most hated class, Sork being the first, right?
Warriors?
Yeah,
What do you mean most hated class? What?
we are,
In what sense?
because LSA they just won't forget about it, right? Lingering super armor.
Yeah, I guess. Okay.
There is an air of truth to that. I still like
Yeah.
when I complain about like Warrior, the first thing anybody ever says is, "Well, I mean, you had lingering super armor for how long?" And I'm like, "Dude, that's been gone for how long? Like, what do you mean?
It's still lingering. Dude.
Yeah.
It's still lingering, dude. People can't get over it."
Yeah. I mean, fuck. Just as a quick aside, I and I've said this before, as painful as the Warrior lingering essay was, the Valkyries was way, way worse, dude. Because
No.
Warrior at the time did not have 2 self heals, a ranged CC, a bunch of ranged CCs, and vacuum, and the damage output. Like Val could actually just kill you in like 1 or 2 skills, whereas Warrior had to do a whole combo.
And the thing is, like, I hated when Valks like when I dueled the Val back in the day, is like, oh dude, your class is so stronger, and I asked him like, how is it so strong? Oh, your grab is like longer than mine. I'm like, what?
Yeah, T-Rex arms. That's what they had back then.
Yeah.
Valk's movement too was
But
nutty.
yeah, it was like fighting us, but like on steroids, in my opinion, right? Because they were just like going like zoom, like zooming around the place, like cutting corners and everything, and it was just so hard to catch them, even without.
Back then, Valk was Warrior with Musa's dash, Wizard's heals, and PA, and then the damage of a ninja.
Yeah, but somehow we're like, we're not the only class that has lingering super armor. What about Valks? Why can't you guys hate Valks? Right?
Yeah,
they were on the same boat.
So all right, so Warriors are hated. So you guys in Sork, so what, Hole didn't help, or what? Or did help? Or he hates Warriors?
He hates Warriors. I think he doesn't I don't know, I can't speak for this man. He hates how the class is now, for sure. He hates the dev community and what he did to the class. I think the video didn't help at all, because we were already under fire. Like, how dare you complain? You got Succession before us, like, all that shit, right? Like, be grateful, and like, yeah. But it was definitely a eventful day when he dropped it, because Reddit was like, everybody was talking on his post, right? There was copy pastas being thrown out everywhere. My name got dropped in that copy pasta. I think you've seen it before. It for the most part, I can understand where Hole is coming from, but I don't completely agree with everything he said, right? Because in my video, I said, this is not set in stone. Some things are gonna change, and hopefully we might get buffed soon. And what do you know? This week we got these nice buffs. We got an iframe that's pretty big, but we won't know if it's good until it goes to the live servers, and we'll be able to really test it out without having 200 ping.
Right. Yeah. When do you think we're gonna get it?
I don't know. I really don't know. Probably after the C content drops, or something like that. I don't know. Didn't they say that they weren't completely done or weren't ready to release it to the live servers? I've heard.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's not done.
Yeah.
iTex ALL says, is Succession the revival the game needs right now, and is Warrior Succession actually good?
It's solid. It's solid. It's pretty solid so far. I don't think it's something worth getting back into. It's really up to you at the end of the day.
Tim Allen said he's a witch. Why would you ask him Warrior question? Not wrong. Let's see. Pistol Pete says, why do you think there are a handful or so of warriors that perform really well in large scale, and then the rest are pretty mediocre and complain that
So like I said, the people that perform well in node wars or large scales, right? They like I noticed like some of these warriors, right, that perform well, like T Bear, Onyx Ace, Sphero. Who else? I know I'm missing some. I've been out of the.
I know one, George, the backwards 3 from BR.
Yeah, so these guys, people just don't know that these guys put the hours into this game to make it work, right? It's not like these guys woke up and the next day they're able to perform really well. These guys are able to pick and choose their fights. And from my experience, when I frag out, it's like any other classes, right? You see an opportunity, they're balled up, you go in, you pop E, and you 100% them, and you get some kills. You do that every 5 minutes, and you're gonna at least be top 5 or top 10 for sure.
I find it funny that you list Sphero as one of the people doing well in large scale, because I think if you ask Sphero, he's like, "Fuck, it's miserable. God damn it, I hate this shit."
Oh, really? It's definitely like we definitely have to do a lot more than what other classes do, right? So our best is like Mystic's good, if that makes any sense, right? Like in order to compete, we have to like absolutely play with our hearts out.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Frosty, but I think whenever we had Sphero on the podcast, he was saying that large scale is like not good.
Yeah,
he had a lot of complaints.
He was saying that he felt Warrior, if I remember correctly, was overall really good, but that in large scale was shit.
I mean,
that was kind of
it's any other classes, right? If you look at Musa's, right, they just go in 100%, and I kind of see the same way as Warriors, right?
They so go you're saying Warrior is a flex class?
It's a flanker for sure. Flex class.
Yeah.
It's well, like
the problem with it being a full flex is you can't really defend yourself against a good ninja or a Sork, right?
With all this lag going on, FPS dropping,
and also, I mean, we pointed this out earlier. Warrior doesn't really have a way to get out. You know, it's all in.
Yeah, once you go in, you're basically...
They can get in pretty easily. It's the getting out that they are not particularly good at, which is kind of required to be a good flex class, at least in my opinion.
I feel like, in my eyes, if you're able to get like 5 kills and you die, then that's good. You've done your job as a flanker, flex squad, whatever.
Yeah. Well, you guys are going to be able to, now that the little boot, scoot, and boogie has an iframe, you can scoot, hold your block, scoot, hold your block, and eventually you'll be out.
Yeah.
But also, that's actually, it raises a good question. Do you think Secession Warrior will still be a flanker, or will it be with the DP buff, right, where your shield gets hit and it gives you a lot more DR per hit? Is that going to turn it into a frontline class?
See, if they keep adding more buffs like that, if they want, like, the whole community wants us to be a frontliners, right? So they gotta perfectly balance the way our shield works, right? So when we're in our shield stance, sorry, like it's good that we got that buff, right? But we also need something that'll mitigate range damage. So what they could probably do is also buff the shield stacking a little bit higher, and also include like range damage decrease upon hit until like what are 10 or so. And like, you know how we do that little stagger animation when we get out of when our shield gets blown up? I feel like hopefully I don't get like flamed too hard. I feel like that should be like some sort of invulnerability. Like
what? Okay, hold on, stop.
But because we're stuck in there, right?
I know, but that's the point of it. That's the whole point. All right, look, I'm with you in that, like, something should be done to make the block more valuable or last longer or something. But the whole point of like trying to break a block is to get that stagger animation, because you're not the only class that gets that. Every class, when your block is broken, you get the stagger. But that's what it is. It's like,
not as
I mean,
bad,
now it's
though.
like a weird thing. No, it's as bad.
It
It
is
is. It's just that
not.
your block. You're not relying on it's the same exact stagger on every
It
fucking.
is not.
It's
Yes, it is.
because
No, it's just you guys use your block more.
As
Like that's
someone
what
who's
you're
played
using.
4
So
classes with blocks, I can assure you Warrior is the worst.
you're not getting your block broken as often. I guarantee it, dude. The stagger on the warrior is the same as every other class. You're crazy.
no, ours
It's
like
at least
we-
remotely close. But the thing is, the point stagger has a point. Like it's there for a reason. So like I would rather it be harder to break your block than you're invulnerable. Like the goal is to break the block. So why would you ever want to break someone's block? It doesn't make any sense
So
if it
I
makes them
think right now, like with the state of AP and how the block currently functions, I hate the stagger. I hate it so much.
I
But
hate it too.
if they make the block more powerful and more valuable, then I completely understand. Like you burn your way through this block, you deserve to have an opening to CC somebody. But right now, blocks get broken in 2 skills. Like what like why should I be staggered for you using 2 skills? That makes absolutely no sense when I have nothing else to defend myself with.
I mean, I'm with you guys in the. I mean, I like what they did on the global lab with the DP thing, and if that helps the block, that's cool. But also, there's still an element of people are pushing 285, 290 DP and not getting or AP and not getting the DP equivalent because I don't think Zethian's block is breaking in 1 skill.
No, he's not. He's like the 1% warrior that just
Right. So like it's a weird thing because then like let's say they do make it so someone with 301 DP it takes like a full combo to break their block. What happens when they're 360 DP? It just never ever
Okay,
breaks.
but are we scaling around one man or are we scaling around a majority of the player base, Frosty? You need to pick one.
Well, a majority of the player base is starting to build DP.
Yeah, but
That's
they're
not-
still not anywhere near Zethian.
No, but they will soon. So what? They're all just we're gonna balance based on something that's gonna
like 1
wait.
year
They're gonna.
later.
Why would they? Wait, so you balance around something that's inevitably going to happen, and then what? Rebalance it later? Like that doesn't make any sense.
Why don't
feel
you
like-
just put a cap on it?
I feel like that's how I feel like that's how it works, right? You balance it out for the moment, right? For a good month, so everybody can enjoy the class, right? And then you nerf it later. But I feel like the invincibility when you get staggered is a bit too much, right? So I feel like after your block gets blown up, I feel like we should sort of get like some sort of like movement speed buff, like of 10% or 5%, just for like 2 seconds, just to get the hell out of there, right? Then
I think if your block breaks, it should be like you walked over a stun trap and you're stuck for 10 seconds.
why do you hate
Yeah.
warriors? Why do you hate warriors? It shouldn't be that bad. That's a little bit.
No, I'm kidding. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, the stagger thing, it's weird, right? Because like I agree with you, Rezlar. Like it was. Hey, the thing is, I mean, the stagger actually wasn't even good back then because the problem was you got
It was
staggered,
super
right?
armor.
And that was supposed to be. Yeah, it was super armor because of your block. So I was supposed to be able to CC you during that stagger, but I still
Right.
couldn't. And now it's like, you get punished so hard. So yeah, I'm with you. Like there should be like some middle ground. I don't know if maybe just a way to yeah, that's a tough one, right?
Maybe
Because it's almost like you're getting rewarded for just basically holding your block forever.
No, just make it be when it blocks, it's broken. You can't use it anymore until it jumps back up to like let's say like 30% or something. And that way it basically
that's not a bad idea.
It
Yeah.
forces one of 2 things. Either you're gonna do nothing and get CC'd, or 3 things. You're gonna do nothing and get CC'd, you're gonna use an unprotected ability and get CC'd, or it's gonna force you to burn a protected ability just to stay up. Like those are the 3 things that it's gonna make you do, which in any way you look at it, it's still a punishment, but it's not a
Right.
fucking death sentence like it is now.
Well, what happens with your frontal guard skills?
we
that case.
can't activate it.
Just make it to where it's not frontal guard. It's
So
unprotected.
it's just unprotected movement. I mean, I'd be cool with that. I almost feel though, like if that happened, you guys would be running into more issues, not less.
I don't think
Because
so.
then you're gonna be, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It
If-
depends. Because someone also has to react to your stagger, unless you're like sitting in a ball.
Because that would also I don't know.
I mean, I still just think at the end of the day, it'd be easiest to just make it harder to get to the point where you're even staggered. Like make the block powerful enough.
Yeah.
but
And I
not
agree,
too
and that's
powerful.
why I'm
where
saying
you don't get to this.
if they make the block actually like really good, then I'm 100% on board. Like have it make a stagger whenever it breaks, because if you have to actually dedicate resources and time and like effort into breaking the block, you should get a reward for it. My issue is everybody's running around with fucking 285 AP and blocks break in 1 second. So it's like you didn't fucking do anything to earn this free CC on me. All I did was block for 1 ability, and now I'm stunned and dead.
Exactly.
Yeah, you guys got to get your DP up, dude.
It's not even that.
Tell that to my 0 and 30 something pen attempts, Frosty. Thanks.
Dude, you know I have a lot of AP. I'm not breaking anyone's block in one. Even at 291.
I'm pretty sure when we were fighting the other day, you literally brought my block down to like 20% with 1 ability. 1 serpent.
Yeah, but you're wearing dim magical armor.
What?
The accuracy quest item, dude. Put on boss gear.
Also, I don't appreciate that you keep saying you guys. Okay, I'm a Zerker. Thanks.
You're a witch.
I am a Zerker, sir.
You're both witch. Are you actually not on your?
I am a Zerker now.
Oh my god, you're worse than me, dude. I'm still on ninja. I'm going 2 weeks.
Listen,
I'm almost 2 weeks.
I'm super excited for Secession, and I am going to play Secession Warrior when it comes out because I'm very, very excited for it. But current Warrior is literally cancer. I cannot stand it. There's too much desync in this game for me to give 5 shits about fucking 1v1s, which, in my opinion, is the only thing Warrior's really good at. So it's like, if I can't give a shit about the only thing Warrior's good at, then why the fuck am I playing this class?
Right. Well, I hope for your sake that they show the Zerker Succession before Warriors actually live, so that way, if you really like it, you can hold off until Zerker comes out.
I really don't expect me to enjoy Zerker's Secession. I love the Zerker Awakening. I love it with a burning passion. The reason I ever picked Zerker in the first place was because I saw the Awakening video, and I was like, holy shit, I want to play that now.
Right. Well, you're getting the Succession. You get 2 awakening skills, so you guys only have 2 good awakening skills. Let's be honest. So maybe it'll.
I mean, yeah. I don't know. I don't know how they're gonna do that with Zerker though. Like, what are they gonna give it that's not attached to the cannon?
I'm almost sure it's gonna have devastation. I'm like positive because you're like punching
the 2 things that I'm expecting it to get. I'm expecting it to get devastation, and I'm expecting it to get Titan Step. I think that's going to be the 2 things that they give it.
Oh, which one's Titan Step?
Titan Step is the kick that you do in Awakening. It's extremely underused by Zerkers. People don't realize how broken it is.
It's that dash forward kick that like looks BM.
Yeah, you do you can either do a knee kick or a drop kick if you hold shift, basically. And I think it's going to do that. And I know that there's already a kick in the pre-awakening, but the pre-awakening kick is dog shit, and the kick in awakening is actually good.
But the warrior ones, Vangertz, are solar flare and you said pulver. Like those are pretty signature skills for warrior, right? So like, I don't know if they'll give the kick. I don't
know.
I wouldn't say pulverize is our
pulverize. Pulverize is kind of a tier 2 or maybe even tier 3 skill.
But our signature is solar flare and reckless.
Yeah, solar flare is the big one.
Yeah.
But like here's the bigger thing. Like, what else are they gonna give it? They can't give it blasting, really, because that's an explosion from the cannon. They can't give it Titan Blow, that's an explosion from the cannon. They can't give it Flame Buster, that's a shot from the cannon. Maybe ground lifting? Like, I guess they could do ground lifting. I don't think that.
Yeah, they could do ground lifting. The ground lifting could be kind of cool. I almost feel like they could do Ancient Wave too and just make it more like dirt.
Yeah, you just throw your axe.
Instead of like just a wave of axes come out.
No, I have a
dude.
feeling...
Wouldn't it be funny though? They give you Flame Buster, but it's like you're just shooting axes.
I actually, the more I think about this, the more I think it actually is going to be ground lifting. It's probably going to be devastation and ground lifting. I bet It's going to be devastation and ground
Yeah, I
lifting.
could see that.
But here's the other thing that I was sitting here considering the other day. What are they going to make that's protected in this pre-awakening tree? It like spin? Are they going to make spin protected so that everybody's just spinning everywhere in large scale? Like,
Hell yeah,
I
dude.
don't,
Everyone wants a whirlwind barb in this game.
dude. I just don't know what they're gonna do in this pre-awakening because Warrior pre-awakening has a couple of abilities that I don't know, they just kind of make sense to be protected, right? Like Scars of Dusk and like as far as attacking, right? Like an ability that you use for damage. Zerker doesn't really have anything like that in their pre-awakening that I can think of anyway. Like they have Beastly Wind Slash, which is not like it's a combo ability. They have Fierce Strike, which is a combo ability. They have Frenzy Destroyer, which is a combo ability. Like all of these attacks that aren't protected, but I don't know. I just don't know what they're gonna do. But I kind of have a feeling it's gonna be a little underwhelming. But who knows? Maybe they prove me wrong.
Oh, you're just like the Warrior Discord, dude. Look,
Dude, I'm hyped as fuck for Warrior
God
Secession,
damn.
dude. I'm like the only person on planet Earth that is actually looking forward to Warrior Secession, apparently. Like, I am so hyped.
I'm like in between. Like I'll see it. Really.
so the only Discord more sad than the Warrior Discord after Succession is the Ranger Discord after Succession.
What are they saying in there?
So, dude, all right. First of all, they're not able to move. That's what they say. They can't move at all. They say all of our super armor is gone. We have no protection. Our damage is good, but it's still split damage, so it's not really going to be good. Also, we did a lot of damage. We didn't need damage, so all this does is make us worse. That's the Ranger Succession in a nutshell. Now, it does look really fucking cool, though. Like the animations, because everything is green. So they made Shotgun green and like all of the pre-awakened skills that same green theme. And then their two awakened skills are Nature's Tremble and Regeneration, which both are dagger skills, but you just use the offhand. So instead of the Camasylvan swords, you use the dagger and slam the ground or punch the ground or whatever, which is kind of cool. But yeah, it's more like they didn't give it, as far as I know, they didn't give it any new movement at all. So like the Warrior got the 2 extra dashes and now that iframe on the scoop, but right now, currently the Ranger lost its awakened dash and didn't get anything to kind of make up for it.
Yeah, which is pretty surprising. I was kind of expecting them to give the Ranger Awaken dash in the pre-awakening.
Yeah. So that obviously needs to be looked at, their movement. But outside of that, I mean, I don't know. It kind of seems a little bit cool. They also don't have as many protected CCs, although I know that's such a weird thing too, is because you could justify it if the Archer didn't have a bunch of them, but the Archer has a bunch of protected CCs, so I don't fucking know. Yeah,
I still think I don't know. I still think one of their biggest mistakes was just like balancing out the awakening to be like you either have a CC or you have a protection, and then it came time to do pre-awakenings, and they were like, nah. Like what? Like what? Why? What was the purpose of this in the first place? Then I don't get it. Like if you're not gonna do it across the board, why even do it at all? You only did it for half of the class's kits. It doesn't make any sense.
right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, I think there's like things to be excited about, and especially since you mentioned that DP change when you get hit, Vangertz, like that. I don't know, man. I'm stuck on that. I think that's really fucking cool that they did that. That's something I thought there's no way in hell they would do something like entirely new like that. So I think that's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, I like that too.
So that has me a little bit excited for what they'll end up doing to Ranger. I'm still kind of interested for myself in how Ranger ends up, because I think the Ranger could be kind of fun to play. But I don't know. It's still like these first 3 classes they're doing, the Ranger, Warrior, and Valk, are like the least interesting to me. Did you watch any of it? Either of you guys? The
No.
Ranger stuff?
I did.
Oh no, actually I did. I've seen a couple Rangers just like dish out skills, and I was just completely getting shot. The skill where they do a big AOE, not the where they throw arrows in the sky, you know. That skill, I feel like that skill is really good. It looks really cool, and I feel like they can do a lot with that in the when they see the main ball clashing with the other main ball.
Yeah, the new one looks. Did you see that one?
Yeah,
Rez?
the new Descending Current.
Yeah, dude, that one. Like, I love the new animation, man. It reminds me of Terra.
I thought it was super interesting how they decided to change it from like, because regular Descending Current, right, is kind of like this super widespread giant AOE, but almost randomly like hits people in a way. It's kind of weird how it functions. And then they changed it to a much more traditional, like, you shoot in this very specific area and it's just a layer of arrows that you're not going to be able to escape unless you iframe.
Yeah.
It's going to make sieging Node War bases a lot easier, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting, though. I mean, to your point, Rez, we'll see if I end up being completely wrong on this, but every ranger is saying that it looks like it'll be good for Node War and Siege, but for PvE and PvE or 1v1, it seems like it's going to be.
Yeah, it seems like it has, at least from what I saw, it's like it has a bit of a wind up to it. So I don't know how useful it's going to be in 1v1. Maybe as like a finisher, like you have someone on the ground, you're like, I just need to, do something to finish them. It's your flashy finisher. But for Siege, like, I think it's funny because the first thing I thought about when I thought about what this ability would be like in Siege, it's literally going to be like the old timey, like, Rangers fire, and then everybody shoots at the same time to try and burst the people on the walls, Like,
Yeah.
They're going to be like, everybody target there, shooting 3, 2, 1, go. And then they're all going to shoot and try and kill a couple people on top of the walls,
What's the range on it? Anyone know? Because in all the demo things I saw, they shot it like right in front of them.
Yeah, that's what I saw too. I don't know.
Yeah, same.
I don't really know.
That's gonna be sad if like the range is literally nothing.
So what you said the classes are boring, Frosty. What classes are you looking forward to for this session?
I mean, obviously Sork is a big one since I played Sork for so long. I'm really curious. I don't know if I'd be interested in it, but I'm really, really curious what they're gonna do with Tamer. Because Tamer's pre-awakening as the pet, so it's pretty unique. And then I don't just Ninja and Kuno. Like, what are they gonna do to Ninja and Kuno's pre-awakening since it's already so fucking good? Especially Ninja. Ninja's pre-awakening is so I just can't even imagine. I also I want to write down a list of skills I think they're gonna put for the 2 awakening skills for each class and just see how close I am. Because like for Ninja, I think if ninjas could choose, they'd probably choose like Silent Charge and Serpent Ascension. But they'll probably end up getting Drastic Measure and Katana Shower, I'm pretty sure. So who knows? I don't know. Yeah, just those 3 are the ones I play mostly. Kuno and Sork I play the most, so kind of mostly interested in those. But Mystic too, like, because Mystic's pre-awakening right now is super boring. And the fact that they made Rangers pre-awakening all green theme, I'm kind of hoping if the Mystic they make it blue or water, I think would be kind of neat. If they make the whole thing that yellow boring punches where it's like literally the particle effects are just dust, then I'm out. That's not fun. I need some water. I need the water mechanics.
Where's Hydro homies?
Yeah, I don't know. Are there any other ones you're looking forward to, Vangertz?
I want to see what they do with Striker.
Yeah, Striker will be... Dude, Wizard and Witch too, because that, like, Wizard Witch pre-awakening has some cool stuff already too.
Yeah, I'm gonna be interested to see, like, because here's the thing, right? If we go by my theory, there's plenty of classes that, like, it doesn't apply to, right? So it's like Zerker is one of those, right? Like, Zerker doesn't particularly struggle in large scale, nor do they particularly struggle in 1v1. Like, they're a very solid class overall. Same thing with, like, Archer, right? So that theory doesn't really come out well for classes like that.
Wizard and Witch.
And also, it doesn't come out well to classes like Wizard and Witch that are so dominant in large scale that if you also made them like a 1v1 base, Like that wouldn't make sense. Like the class in both Awakening and Pre-Awakening is designed to be a large scale god, right? So it's
Right.
like, why would you make this class good at 1v1? That just doesn't make any sense. So it's going to be interesting to see what they kind of decide to go with, honestly. I wouldn't be surprised to see them try and change things to be more like, if you want to dive, you pick Awakening. If you want to stay back and be a caster, you do Secession. Like, I have a feeling that's what they're going to be.
Wouldn't it be funny though if the wizard and witch ends up being the opposite of the warrior, and they just have a shitload of cancels and become gods in 1v1 with Succession?
We'll see, man. I'm really hoping what they do with witch, because I'm liking witch right now. I'm not doing a full reroll of witch, but for the most part, I've been leveling up, and it's really easy to pick up.
What are they going to do with Shy?
Oh shit!
Its boomerang is just going to be PvP damage.
They give a PvP spec for Shy, dude. Everybody rerolls.
Well, Shy kind of already. Well, I guess not. I don't know. Yeah, Shy. Maybe they won't touch Shy. It might be the one.
Yeah, Shy might not get a Secession. It wouldn't surprise me, considering, technically speaking, it doesn't have an Awakening either.
Right.
Everybody calls it the Awakening because we're all lazy and don't care to call it by what it actually is, but
it's what is it? Newly learned
talents
or something? What do they call it? Oh yeah,
I believe, yeah, talent. But nobody fucking calls it that.
Right. All right, let's move on. Yeah, Rangers, like, I don't know, Ranger definitely needs some changes for where it currently is, so we'll see. Hang on tight, Rangers. They're gonna make it good. I feel it deep in my heart. They remembered you existed at least and gave you a Succession. You gotta be happy.
Yeah, right. Do DK's next.
DK, yeah, DK is another interesting one. Maybe DK will have all the cancels. All right, so let's just talk about some general crap. Hasrah. I want to talk about Hasrah because so it actually came out in Korea. We're getting it October. I think the date is the 5th or the 8th, whatever that week is. The patch day that week, we're getting it. The new Hasrah grind spot. It's basically Histria. We talked about it a little bit before when it first was shown
So
off.
2
but
weeks. 2 weeks from last Wednesday, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. It's basically Histria with a little bit less AP requirement. So I think they're like slightly easier Histria mobs. They drop Tongue-Grad Earrings. I don't think they drop any shards of any type. They drop the new Precision Crystals and Forbidden Books since it's the Medaya region. And now they added a new mechanic that wasn't originally in it when they first showed it off, where every once in a while, almost like an elite spawn, like an event will start where you have to kill a pack of mobs, and when you do, then another pack of mobs spawns.
So this is
and when
all
you kill
time,
that,
right?
yeah, it's all time. So it happens like every once in a while, and you have to kill these pack of mobs in a certain amount of time, or they either disappear or despawn or some shit. I might be a little bit wrong on this, but the general idea is you kill one within a certain time, the next pack spawns, you kill that within a certain amount of time, then a latent spawns, and when you kill the latent, if you kill it in the allotted time, you get a guaranteed latent power stone drop. So yeah, I'm kind of curious. The biggest thing for me is how the fuck that's going to affect the market, but also that my 5 Elton rotation is going to be completely wide open for the next few months. I'm excited about that. So
and
yeah,
I saw in the comments of one video that I was watching, the guy said that he thought it was about every 40 minutes or so.
Right, yeah.
Like,
That is
every
insane.
40 minutes, a latent per hour, basically.
If you have enough AP to clear the challenge or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. Do we know?
And this is also assuming, by the way, that you're also not in a GVG while it's going on.
Right, that's the thing.
I wonder if if it spawns, like you spawn it and the enemy guild can kill it and steal your loot.
Yeah,
I wonder if you can do that.
I think it just spawns automatically,
I have a
almost like
feeling-
the Stars End mobs do.
Yeah.
You know the Stars End elites. I think it spawns like that. But my question is, does it spawn in every rotation, or is it only one rotation?
I have a feeling
Like-
we're about to see Gatekeepers V2.
Right.
It's gonna be fun though. Like there's
For
gonna be
all
a
those
lot of
people-
GVGs.
Yeah, for all those people
Yeah.
that missed out on Gatekeepers, you're about to get to experience it.
Those were the days, man. Just hunting down mana hunting down a lot of players trying to do gatekeepers because that was the number one way to make money, like one of the fastest and quickest ways back in the day.
And yeah, of course, it's not only going to be that; it's also going to be friggin' big and shiny on his like 27 alts on every channel, looking for the spawn. You know.
Yeah.
Dude, that actually, I mean, that's cool. I love that they're doing these weird new mechanics with some of the grind spots.
I do too. It makes the grind spots more like feel different from each other. It's not just the same AI with like the same model, just at a different size or something, you know?
Different color. We just need different color, not even different size.
Yeah, right. Like, that's why
yeah,
I was kind of disappointed with Shara Khan, because it was like it looked pretty cool at first, but then I was like, wait, these are literally just like Zerker, Warrior, and Striker player models with the same
well,
AI.
I like that. I thought that was kind of cool.
But it's
I
just
don't know.
like,
I actually thought that was cool.
in essence, except for the nighttime, which is I like the nighttime. That was a cool thing that they have. But like in essence, it's the exact same shit. It's the same AI, the same dumb AI as you like to put it. You know, they just kind of run at you. So it's kind of like, I don't know.
Yeah, well, it's a hack and slash, dude. That's what it is. All right, so wait. Oh, I lost my list. Hasrah. Wait, are you guys gonna be? Where do you grind, Vangertz? Usually, when you just
Stars End is usually convenient for me because if anybody's in rotation, I can just kick them out.
right. So you're on our shit.
History is. I think overall history is a lot better because of how often you get BMCs and scrolls, and the trash league is basically the same. It's just getting to the place is such a hassle. You could call your friend if he has a summon, and he can just summon you in there.
I had another point to bring up as well about the Hasrah spot. I know we're talking about latents, but I mean, having another spot that drops Tungrad earrings and it being a lower AP spot, that's going to mean quite a bit for Tungrad earrings as well, probably.
Yeah. We won't get accessory boxes.
I mean, as
anymore.
long as it's actually decent to grind there, we're probably going to see a lot of people there.
Yeah. But the thing is, why I don't think, well, it depends how much lower it is. The mobs look easier than history, but I don't know how much easier. So I guess that depends. Because if it opens up a door for more players to grind it, then yeah, it might affect the market quite a bit. But if it's just redistributing people from history and Ackman to there, then it's just going to be the same.
Right. The idea would be to make it a lower tier Histria, right, for lower geared players. So it's like if you're this higher geared player, you'd still want to go to Histria because you have the gear to make it there. But if you don't, well, we have mini Histria over here. You know, you still get a chance at Tungrad earrings. It's very similar mobs. So
in theory, but then the latent thing happened. Now everyone's going to be there.
Right. Yeah.
All right, so new events next week. So again, in this weird press release, I don't know why they do this like once a year, where just randomly every other website that's not BDO related gets a list of things that's upcoming to BDO. Like they send a PR package to them, but don't announce anything to us, which is odd to me. So these sites were like talking about all the stuff coming next week. We're gonna get a bunch of grinding events that gives EXP and so on and so forth, as well as the Manos is going to finally be out. But we're going to get fortune pouches again. And for anyone who remembers fortune pouches, it's a fish spotter. Basically the greatest thing to ever happen to fish spotters in the history of fish spotting.
Yeah.
So that's going to be fun.
Aren't those? I'm pretty sure they're already out.
What?
The
pouches?
No, the pouches are not out. You get them. They're random drop from grinding.
Oh, okay. This must be the cash shop equivalent then.
Oh yeah.
Golden pouch of fortune.
Yeah, no, that's different. No, the fortune pouches are those boxes. You can get them from grinding, fishing, or gathering. There's like a blue and a gold version. The blue one, you have a chance to get a sharp, hard armor, weapon stone, ancient spear dust. I think in Korea they added black gems, the new enhancement map for life skill stuff. So that'll be in there as well. Kron stones and Balk's cries, and then you basically get one of those items every time. And then if you get a gold one, you get like a random assortment of like 5 of the item in one go, which is kind of cool. So yeah, it's gonna be crazy because I remember last time when we had it, like you get a lot from gathering and from grinding, and then when I would go like AFK fish for an 8-hour workday, come home, I would have like 6 of them.
Yeah, that's still really good.
Yeah, it was freaking nutty. It was like, wait, everyone was getting so much like Kaffir stone dust and sharps and hards from it. So plus we're gonna get sharps and hards every day for a while. Yeah, the market's gonna be in a weird place for enhancement mats for a bit. Yeah, I don't know. Where are you grinding? Are we going to Pirates? We should all go to Pirates, dude. Pirates on Arsha for fortune pouch.
I'll probably stick at Starzent by the cliff.
No, dude.
I'm back on Zerker, so you already know where it is.
Oh yeah, you're gonna be at I already know, Wandering Rogues, dude.
Yep, then 60 mil an hour, easy.
Yeah. Actually, I remember last year when I was grinding Histria, you still got a lot of fortune pouches even in Histria. So I guess they're never going to give us a legitimate Kaffir Stone event, so fortune pouches is...
Pirates actually probably isn't a bad idea, actually, if you're playing specifically for the event.
Yeah, I don't know what you make there anymore.
Probably not good, but if you're playing specifically for the event, it's probably a pretty good spot.
Yeah. I'm going to miss the Altar Blood event. Have you guys been playing Altar since the event's been...
No, I haven't even done the quest to get inside. I have to do it so I can get the stack.
What? Go do it. Yeah, get the... Dude, it's so easy right now. Do it real quick, honestly. I mean, you get actually a pretty good amount of stuff. You get like gold bar, like for finishing it your first time. You get like 50 Kaffirus, you get the 100 stack. I think you get maybe a 50 stack. I can't remember. And then you get like gold bars and some Kron stones, maybe.
Holy shit.
But it's good. And it's really, really easy now, too. Like, it's actually...
Oh, that's good.
We have a guy in our guild that's run like 40 times. Like 45, 50 some odd runs. He got a pen heave and 2 try boss box. It's fucking crazy.
Don't you get like this chance of getting pen gear or something like that? Like a...
Yeah. He got a pen green box and opened it up and it was a heave.
No way.
Yeah, no joke. He got a heave and he just sold that shit straight up for $4.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's like
you can
super
also
lucky though.
And that is pretty lucky, but Sammy's done like 6 or 7 runs, and he got a try boss box and got a Griffin helm out of it, which was kind of cool. So yeah, it's kind of cool to do, even if you don't get drops, because they doubled the Kaffir stones you get, and they doubled the gold bar drops, so you get a lot of silver just for doing it in general.
I'll definitely try it out. I have to,
and it's kind of fun. Yeah, if you've never done it, it's pretty fun. Like the first couple times through. Man, that's the thing that was missing from it, is the rewards, honestly. I was sitting there thinking like, yeah, it's not replayable. And then like you make the rewards good and everyone's in there and I'm like, well, it could be replayable if you just don't make the rewards shit. It's kind of funny how that dictates.
Well, because it's about time investment, right? Like, I only have, 3 hours a day to play this game. How can I best spend this 3 hours to progress through it? And people don't want to do something that's...
Battle Arena.
Yeah, right. People don't want to spend it on something that's not, going to help them out as much as possible. So, min-max.
Yeah. So one thing I forgot to get to with you, Vangertz, you were in BSL. You've been in a bunch of tournaments since like the inception of you playing this game.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I remember seeing your name kind of a lot, but in BSL, you won one of the 2v2s with Ninja Phoenix. Do I have that right? And you also got to like the round of 8 a couple times, or do I? What were your results in the 4? Like so there were 12 weeks, 4 1v1s, 4 2v2s, 4 3v3s. How far did you get in like all of them?
Well, I think for the most part, because it was kind of laggy, right?
Mm-hmm.
For the 1v1s, I got pretty close. I like for the very first tournament, I almost won. Well, I lost in the semifinals against Inflict, and it was a really close match. Like I was like down to 2, so he only needed one more win to secure the final spot. And I brought it back evenly. Then we clashed like some Dragon Ball Z type fight. It was pretty cool, and we it was so everybody, like my HP was low, his HP was low, everybody's V's was popped. It was just so freaking Monka as. And at the moment when I got him really low out of his V, he disengaged like really far across the map, and his Q buff actually got up at the last second, and that's what killed me and made me lose the fight. I could have played a lot passive because my E buff was up, but I was just so into it. Like I just wanted him dead so I can just go get into the final, because he was like the last threat for me, right?
Okay.
But eventually, he won, and it was still a good fight. And I don't think I won a single 1v1. I got like 3rd or 2nd place for the most part. But for the 2v2 with Ninja Phoenix, we won against Hands and Nayashi in a 2v2,
right.
and we won that one. And we got pretty hyped.
Yeah, that was cool. Were you in the 3v3s at all, or
no? Oh yeah, we were. Actually, we were. Our 3rd was Reihi, who was a Sork in Cho Nation. We didn't get as far as what we wanted to, but we still had fun at the end.
Well, you're lucky in that first 1v or 2v2 that you didn't have to face Rezlar and I, because we would have destroyed you.
Yeah, dude. Everybody was hungry for us. Everybody wanted to get a chance to fight us.
I had to fire Rezlar as my teammate.
Oh no.
He kept trying to tell me that Zerkers don't do any damage.
Is that true?
No.
Yes, you did. You're like, dude, I'm sitting here watching. I was like, dude, how are these people not dying in your full combo? Because I'm watching every other Zerker just fucking destroys people. And he was like, I don't know, man. Try. Anyway, yeah, we sucked in that. Yeah. All right. So moving on, we're probably gonna do comments. I guess that's about everything that we have as far as Warrior and that sort of stuff. And you were gonna stick around with the comments, or you gotta head out? Okay. So where can people find you? Where are places that people can find your YouTube or your Twitch? Do you stream? Where can people...
I don't really stream that much. I stream like randomly throughout the whole week. You can find me at Twitch at twitch.tv/crecon. And for YouTube, you can just type in BDO Vangertz, and it's usually the first video, and you'll find me there.
All right. You can... Oh shit, dude. You got me a tongue red neck with your luck. Thanks,
Hell yeah.
Man. Are you do you, when you're on testing the Global Lab stuff, are you generally streaming during that, or you're just recording and then putting it up later?
The second one. I'm like recording things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Only putting up the lowlights to make Warrior look bad.
That's the plan. Give us more buffs. We need it.
And are we fighting you tonight in Siege? Where you place?
Oh shit. That's hold on, I gotta see.
It's not time. You can't say, dude. You can't say for 30 more minutes.
Yeah. So. We'll see then. We'll see.
Well, if we ever drop out of Siege, I'll come work with you guys. It'd be fun. Anyway, actually, I'm gonna PM you, maybe, because we usually put these up. We'll have this shit uploaded tomorrow, whatever. But I would like if you can find some time tomorrow. I'll try to 1v1 you a little bit and record it, and we can have that playing in the background for part of the video.
Okay, sure.
If you're up for it.
Yeah, I think I'll, because my car is broken and I gotta look into that. But I'll try to free up my schedule.
All right, cool. Make sure you guys subscribe to his Twitch so he can pay for his car, right?
Hell yeah.
God damn.
Pay for his car.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's it. You have anything to add, Rez?
I'm being griefed by a whole guild right now, so I'm a little busy.
All right. We'll add your stream and your YouTube channel links in the description as well. So
Cool.
yeah, check out Vangertz. Thank you so much for coming on, man. I appreciate it. It was a lot of fun.
Of course, man. Have a good day.
You too, man.
Later, man.
Peace.
All right. And there he goes.
You might have to read the comments. I'm a little busy at the moment.
Okay. It's really cool that he is putting in the time to do the practice that shit on Global Lab. Because one of my problems with Global Lab is that there's no benefit to being there.
Yeah.
You know, you feel like you're wasting your time when you could just be grinding or doing something useful in game.
Well, and
So-
the tests that you can run on Global Labs are so limited in scope, right? It's like basically the only thing you can test is like 1v1 and just check to see how much damage the abilities do against one person. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Because like it's not like there's RBFs running on Global Lab where you can go see how this performs in a group, you know?
Right. All right, let's see. Episode 33 was the one, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Sort by newest first, right? You go that way?
Yep.
Okay. So, let's see, I'll just put this on the screen. Fuck it. Okay. So Yumi Nadai, God, Yumenadai says, good podcast. People were like, 3-hour podcast win. You guys were like, probably it won't happen again. Then exactly the next day, almost 3-hour tier list. Technical stuff. Maybe it's because I'm really used to your old voices. I listened to some episodes several times because video grinding, but I noticed a huge difference in quality. Are you guys compressing while recording? How big were the files before without compressing? I remember playing with the EQ and the voice attack in episode 14 with Leighton. The file was around 260 megabytes as .mp3 and 230 megabyte as a RAR file. So generally we were using compression. Here's basically the bottom line for how we were doing it. Us and the guest would all record our voices separately. We'd put it all together. But prior to putting it together, we would add a noise gate, add compression, and do edits to take out any extra clicks and yada, 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 which there were sometimes if we did a really good job and it came out well, it sounded really, really professional and awesome. And then there were other times where it still didn't sound that great, but also we put in so many hours of extra time doing the editing and cutting and making sure it lined up properly and this and that. So we've been trying to find an alternative. And our first time doing it was when we recorded Etsu. How did we do that one, Rez?
When we recorded Etsu,
Yeah.
we did it all separate.
Yeah, we used Rezlar's recording. No, with Etsu. Oh yeah, we did.
Yeah,
Etsu, we did. You're right. Etsu, we had some audio issues. I don't. It was that one was rough. I don't know. But on the tier list, Rezlar recorded on his end. No, I recorded on my end. You recorded the video. I recorded the audio, and
Correct.
that's what we're doing this time as well. So the quality probably is taking a bit of a dip, but hopefully it's still good enough that you guys can listen to it and it doesn't bother you, and because it just saves us so much time. It's way, way, way easier this way for us. So we're just recording. I'm recording locally through Discord, everything that comes through Discord. So yeah, might sound a little bit worse, so I apologize for that, but hopefully everyone sounds clear enough that you can hear them and the levels are even. I try to do my best. So Lucas C says, great podcast, guys, keep it up. Love listening during my commute. Also want to share with you that I got a pen Leighton last night on a 210 stack, but rip gear. Oh no! Did you just hear that, Rez?
Oh no, dude.
All right, he sent a picture of the before and after. So I'm gonna pull this up. This will be on the recording. So before with his Tet Leighton, he was 278, 281, 317 on a striker. Dang, he's got some sick gear. I don't know why. Let's see what he blew up to. All right, so here's the after. The after is 245, 248, 254, but he's got a pen Leighton. He still has a Tet Blackstar and a pen Dandy. So, dude, but he lost. All right, do you think this is worth res? He lost 2 Tet Narcs and 2 Tet Tungrad rings. And what was that? A Tet Volterra belt? Yeah, and a Tet Volterra belt.
Definitely not worth.
For a pen Leighton. I mean, like, yeah, that's gonna be hard to get 2 Tet Tungrad rings. So that was literally the last thing you hit, and it went, huh? That's fucking crazy. Well, good luck to you getting it back.
The game was like, how can we make him spend the most amount of money in this game, but still like make him want to keep playing? Oh, I know.
Yeah, Lucas C, my question for you is, if that pen Leighton failed, are you still playing this game? All right, Akeem07, a delayed idea to nerf grabs. If you get grabbed, you can activate a block that blocks 1 damage or very, very little, and the CC that comes with it, of course. So if you know your matchup and the combos of the class you are fighting, you can activate your block at the right time to deny your opponent the follow-up CC. That method would help players know their matchup, could probably block down smashes too, does not punish gear carried monkeys too much because they kill without a follow-up CC anyway. Then you can block while downed. Mechanic was already on Arsha in Korea before the CC changes happened. They would just have to change it a little. So the mechanic wasn't there to block grabs. The mechanic actually didn't block grabs, but it did block damage. I'm not a fan of blocking grabs in any way. I've been going back and forth with a few people on the Value Pack Discord about this. I think that, now granted there's desync, and if we're going to say that there's a really bad issue and grabs are desyncy, then I think the problem that needs to be addressed is desync and try to mitigate it as best as possible, whether that means improve the servers, get new servers, centralize the servers, whatever. All of the above, do that. Blocking a grab is I mean, you can play around a grab, like you can, and people do. And the thing is grab has a lot lower effect in large scale, so you're really adding this mechanic basically for 1v1s. And I don't know. I just don't. What do you think, Rez, about the idea of a button you can use to block a grab?
I don't know. I'm not particularly against it as long as it's got a pretty long cooldown. 1 second. My basic thought is this: like, yeah, it's like annoying to deal with or whatever, like grabs as a non-grab class, but I feel like the classes that don't have grabs have plenty of things, plenty of tools at their disposal to like not get grabbed, be it like movement, protections, etc. That being said, I wouldn't be opposed to some sort of grapple break or like a CC break in general. I don't think would be a bad thing, honestly. If you could just say like in the middle of a CC, like, no, I don't want to be CC'd, and it's on like a 5-minute cooldown. Again, we used to have it. It was called V, before they fucking ruined V and made it basically useless at this point, in all honesty. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not particularly against it as long as it's well balanced, but I don't know. This is also coming from a person whose most of the time has been spent on a grab or on a class with multiple grabs. So it's like, oh, you broke my grab. Congratulations, now you're grabbed again. Like,
Right.
to a Zerker, that doesn't mean a lot.
I just like, even splitting my time back and forth between grab class and non-grab class, grabs have never bothered me. I've never sat there and be like, you just grabbed. Oh, all you did is grab her. Oh, he gets me so easy because all he has to do is grab. Like, I've never really felt like that. Even on Mystic, where like a ninja could just block jump grab me, you could always like play around it somehow if you just practice. So I don't like the idea too much. I think block's not that hard to deal with, or grab's not that hard to deal with to begin with. So that's just me personally.
I mean, it's definitely, you can work around it, right? Like I said, I feel like every non-grab class has tools at their disposal to avoid being grabbed one way or the other. Some better than others. But I do understand that it's just a bit of a pain in the ass, and grabs are, with the exception of when desync happens, grabs are pretty absolute. As long as the player is relatively competent and has decent gear, like you don't outgear them like shit, a grab usually is death, basically. So I get it.
Yeah. Said Zujaj Waj, I don't know how to pronounce that. It's in crazy letters. He says warrior / Valk after block give longer animation with super armor or something. So 1 versus 1, it was not OP. I don't know what he means by that.
I don't know either. I mean, granted, I'm PvPing while I'm listening to this, but I can't decode what that means.
Yeah. I think it has something to do with you'd prefer warrior and Valk block to have super armor, maybe for an extra second, keep it lingering or something. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. Or give it lingering, but make the block animation longer. I'm not too sure. Kelly Zeregby says, I don't mind that statement of warrior Valks being able to withstand punishment while blocking, but that means that for my class, Mooses and any other classes that don't have protected grab should get 1 just because I think that's a fair trade. I mean, it depends on how much punishment you're withstanding, right? Like, I see what you mean why you'd want to grab if they're just sitting there and they could block forever. But if their blocks are stronger, but you can still get through it, then I don't think you need a grab. Some Frankenstein says consistent 2 hours. Woo!
Also, do people not
Thank
realize that like classes like warrior and Valk, like outside of their block, they're relatively unprotected for the most part. Like, I don't know. I can't say much about Valk, but I think it's in a similar position where they're a very combo heavy class that doesn't really have too many protections like put in there.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this. If grab is an actual issue, if people really think it's an issue, then I think the solution would to just be increase, instead of giving it a CC break or any of that stuff, just make all grabs have a longer base cooldown. So it's easier to keep track of and you know kind of when it's up and when you have to play around it. Because like if every grab had, let's just say, for example, a 22-second cooldown, then you have 22 seconds where they don't have a grab and you don't have to deal with it. So as long as you dodge the 1 grab, you're fine, right?
Oh, so Zerker's fine. 22-second cooldown.
Well, Zerker would be an exception, right? Because you have multiple. But at least with Zerker,
obviously.
you have like... But if all 4 of your grabs were a 22-second cooldown, you had to play around it, I think it'd still be somewhat viable in 1v1. I mean,
I think the lowest is 13.
Yeah, so Zerkers are already kind of... But the thing is like some of them, I mean, like Lun grab or Mystic grab are like 9 seconds or 7 or something. It's, yeah. Anyway, Clayton Semper says, what Blue doesn't realize is that you can use WoW Gold to pay for carries in top level raids and get geared. It is pay to win.
Fair point.
Fair point. I was trying to get more information from people that played WoW a lot, and I've come to the conclusion that basically if you loved WoW, it's not pay to win. If you don't love WoW, it's... Selai Ali says, so how do I refund all my money when PA banned me? I invested like $3,500 and after 2 years banned. Can you help me out? I need good reason for a refund. I can't tell if he's being sarcastic. No idea. You're gonna have to contact PayPal. Your local PayPal representative.
Yeah, I really don't know. I know I've heard of people getting refunds in the past. Specifically, people getting refunds and then their accounts getting banned for it. I don't know about accounts being already banned and getting refunds, but yeah, I can't. We can't help you, brother. Sorry.
Dozier Games says, these retards arguing about hidden stats on Helm, did they forget that they normalized stats on green items to compete with boss gear? Yes. Back then it was better to have boss gear, and now it's not. Joke's on you, Dozier Games. They actually buffed boss helmets. All right? And made them better, like a year and a half ago. All right, Marshall Kier.
Yikes.
Marshall Kier says, I mean... none of the green items outside of the helm slot compete with boss gear in any way, shape, or form. So I don't know even what.
But
it was referring
also the everything except for the helm slot. Well, I guess maybe the chest as well, but like especially the boots and the gloves. Boots and the gloves boss gear is very specific in what it gives. Like you get the bags for the accuracy, not the DP. You get the Uragons for the DR. You know, like these are very specific things. And then you get to like Gaiath and Griffin. Like, yeah, Gaiath gives more health, or it gives health, and then Griffin gives more DR and then a little bit of resistance. But at the end of the day, like those differences rather are relatively negligible unless you're specifically looking for those stats. Kind of a similar thing with the chest slot, except for Red Nose is garbage. So, but yeah, I don't know.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. Marshall Cure, it wasn't that big a deal. We were arguing about how close they were.
Yeah, we were honestly just kind of fucking around. Like, it's not that big.
Rezlar is a retard. Rezlar is a retard, though. I agree. Marshall Cure says, "Hey, great podcast, awesome guests. I'm glad we have people in the community willing to take risks to make the game a better place for us all. It just sucks Blue had to get banned from it." Yeah, I agree. But he broke the terms of service. So fuck you, Blue. All right. Just kidding. No, it does suck. And the problem with it too that bothers me so much is that they were hiding the stats and they changed the stats. So it's like one of those things where, not to get political, but just as an example, it's a similar argument people make with marijuana, right? Where it's like you have people in jail because they were smoking or selling marijuana in small amounts, and now it's completely illegal and they're still in jail. So you got to like, what do you do with that? Like poor Blue, like revealed the hidden stats. I mean, it's not exactly the same analogy, but it's similar. It has aspects to it. But yeah, it sucks he got banned. He's a good guy. He's been super helpful in the community. He's also like, is he not one of the nicest people ever? Like I've ever talked to? God damn.
Yeah, he's like number 2 right behind Nayashe.
Yeah, he's a super nice guy.
I had to work in Nayashe somewhere in this podcast. I'm going for a streak of how many podcasts I can talk about Nayashe.
Yeah, Nayashe. Greatest ninja NA.
I just realized, like, in the tier list where I think I also talked about Nayashe, I'm 90% sure. I was like, I'm pretty sure I've talked about Nayashe in every video we've done since we had him on. Like, I think I might be in love with the guy. I'm not sure. I'm trying to figure it out.
You're a fanboy for sure. Ni Tien says, "Who's Ninja Dat?" That is my ninja. I was grinding Polyforest in this video. I think on this episode, I'm gonna have hopefully a little bit of 1v1 with Vangertz, and then me mostly really slow grinding Hysteria because I'm trying to focus on the conversation. But I did get a Tungrad neck and a black shard during the podcast. So yeah, good stuff. I'm really bad at history on ninja still. I'm still trying to figure it out. I still need skill points and everything. So yeah, I'm learning it. I'm a weak
ninja is.
No, I made him skinny. He's skinny currently. Yeah, I got to go back to the fat one though. It intimidates people. N Noisy says 121. Blue said the max amount of crystals you can lose is 1, and I know for a fact that's wrong. I've lost 4 crystals at a time before. I've had 2 break at the same time on multiple occasions. Really cool. Blue responded and said, I mentioned I think the max may have been 1. The sheet shows it's different based on your karma. I believe it is a consumption sheet if you want to look for it and see for yourself. I didn't pay too much attention to the table when I skimmed over it on stream.
Most likely it's something that was probably never implemented. It is something that was put in and then was just never like look at it as like they set up like this this light switch to this light source, and then they got the light ready to go, and then they just never switched it on. They were like, actually, in hindsight, we don't want the light on, so they just kind of left it there.
And Noisy also says at 115, there is a limit on how many costumes you can sell in the market per week, by the way. That's true, although the limit is very high, and it increases with family fame. It used to be really low, but it's pretty high now.
It used to be, what, 5?
It used to be 5, and now I'm pretty sure like most people can sell 25.
Yeah.
And Noisy also adds, is this West Coast background gameplay? It's definitely low ping because the East Coast Ninja doesn't flow that well. It's like, That's just my APM, dude. I'm just god tier ninja. Right? Sphere. No, it is West Coast. I live in Los Angeles.
Yeah, he's
Sphero
next door
says-
to the server. That's why he doesn't understand the plight of people like myself.
Right. I mean, sometimes when I'm in a 1v1 that I actually care about, I'll actually drive to the server and move the ninja with my hands. Like it's like a little puppet on a string. I see the ninja in there and I control him, like in the Matrix. I'm just, or no, what's that? Minority Report. I'm just throwing the ninja's arms and movements around. Sphero says, Blue, good episode, big fan. Thanks, Sphero, for listening still. And Noisy says, gem stats are still hidden stats as well. Like your shown accuracy doesn't include. Yeah, that's true. I wish they were. Nayashi says, always raging, LOL. BDO Blue says, update 3030. We talked about my gear on original account, and I went back and looked at the PM I had back then for my gear, and it was actually Tet Armor Weapons, used Kudum, 1 Tet Crescent, Tri Cadre, Tri Centaur, Tri Ogre, Tri Whale Mauler. So he was around 210, 212, 330 when he dueled me. I think that's still a pretty fair fight, because I'm pretty sure at that time I was probably like 240 AP with Nuver and 294 DP. So with your higher DP, I probably did little damage to you because I also couldn't kill you in one combo. So I think it was fair. You can find all the excuses you want, Blue, but you got clapped. European or Empyrean Dreamer.
But you
says,
V'd, so I mean,
I did
technically
V,
speaking.
Empyrean Dreamer says, I don't know if WoW still has bind on equipped raid drops, but it did in Legion, and that meant you could sell game time and use the gold to buy mythic raid gear without stepping foot into content or grinding for the gold. I'd argue that's more pay to win than BDO because it costs a lot less to buy power. It was especially bad in Legion because there was a point where mythic PvE gear scaled so hard that it allowed you to completely crush players who had PvP gear in open world and take next to no damage from them. Also, buying from a gold seller is not the same as buying from the developer. Metric 181 replies and says each raid tier drops maybe 1 to 2 slots max for that are BOE. So it's not really a thing when you have 14 gear slots. Also, the people farming the content can sell those BOE for in-game gold and purchase other items on the auction house, unlike BDO, where the Pearl Shop items are produced via swiping. This is also how guilds fund their raid members with potions and food for raids. WoW is not pay to win. If I drop 10k on a game, I'm going to be in a worse spot than random Joe who spent an afternoon doing dungeons. I've played on and off since BC, and I've never had to drop any money outside of the monthly sub, which I stopped doing as soon as the in-game option came in. In BDO, I can just continue to swipe, get a bunch of silver, buy the best gear in the game from the MP. You also need to buy pets, inventory slots, weight, etc., just to get a passing mark for PvE grinding content so you can do the PvP content.
So this is a battle between someone who likes WoW and someone who doesn't.
Exactly. This is what I'm saying.
But they both play it.
I like to, because I've seen. I don't know. I'm not gonna take sides because I don't know WoW enough, but I do love the idea that one person says, well, you could do this to get ahead, and back then people were like crushing other people even with the PvE gear, and then the other guy says, well, if you do that, you're worse off, not better, than someone just doing dungeons. So I have no idea. Who knows?
I do like though the line that I don't remember which one of them dropped it, but one of them dropped the line that buying in-game like money from a gold seller is different than buying it from the developer. Mm-hmm. That is so true. Like that is, I don't understand why people act like that's the same thing. It's not. It's very different. Maybe not technically, but at least like as a player base, like the respect that you have for your company. Like if you say like, yeah, we're trying our best, but it's hard because there's just no way to really like completely shut out gold selling, really. Like if you think about it, there's just not. But we're trying our best. Then it's like I can respect that. But, you know, a company that is just selling out to try and make as much profits as possible, I'll still play your game if it's a good game. Like I said, I'm not a puritanical person. I don't give a shit. If I like it, then I'll play it. But I definitely am not going to have as much respect for you.
So yeah, I also lose respect if you're not going to do much to get rid of gold selling. Because here's the thing. There are some games and I think BDO is a good example of this. Not saying it doesn't exist, but not to the extent it does in other games. Not even close. Like gold selling and exterior ways of like getting shit is actually like pretty difficult in BDO and also risky as fuck. So
Right.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm not giving someone complete respect because they don't want to fix a problem that I do think is fixable. If they actually stop and think about it, they could change stuff and mitigate it if they wanted to.
Well, that's what I'm saying though, is if you're trying to solve the problem, then I'll, respect. I give you respect. But if you're not trying to solve the problem, or worse, you are the problem, then yeah, I lose respect for you as a company, honestly.
Yeah.
Because at that point it just shows me that you don't really care that much.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like pay to win, man. Like, I mean, all the stuff that got added to the game, like melting costumes and stuff, I'm with everyone. I wish they weren't in the game. I really, really do. I just don't. I don't like. I mean, I'm like half and half on it, right? Like, I'm annoyed that it's there, but I understand why it's there. Like, the thing is everyone wants to compare it to WoW too, because of WoW's lack of pay to win. But unfortunately, no other company has the luxury of having 25 million people subscribing for $15 a month for 10 years. Like that's just not realistic.
Yeah.
So they try to do anything they can to make as much money as they can. And we do hate it, and it's toxic and it doesn't look good. But as long as the game is still playable and I feel like I can still compete somewhat without having to buy stuff, then I'm okay with it. And I do think in BDO you can still play and get somewhere with spending minimal amounts of money. I don't think you have to spend money. And like, I mean, Rezlar doesn't really grind, but if you did grind, like your gear is relatively competitive and you don't pay to win. So
yeah, I just,
or at least that I know of.
Yeah, mostly reroll coupons and costumes. So
Costume melting.
no, costume wearing. I put on a costume, I dye it, and then I take it off and don't touch it again for like 3 years. But I actually I think that BDO fucked up, honestly, in terms of their monetization. I mean, the obvious answer is don't go buy to play, go subscribe to play, because that brings you in constant revenue. I know it's the quote unquote unpopular choice, but if you want longevity in your game, it has to be like the most obvious answer is to be subscribed to play, right? This is why EVE has been around for so long. This is why World of Warcraft has been around for so long. This is why like the premium RuneScape thing was like so people didn't like it, but it made them a lot of money because people wanted to subscribe to like play the premium shit. So obviously
you're not wrong, but you're comparing it to like, all right, first of all, RuneScape and WoW player base, like that model brings in way more money. And even EVE had so many players. Like, think about the beginning of BDO. So if you have 900 people playing that are paying $15 a month, that is not the same as 900 people that drop whatever the game costs at the beginning, $60, and then buy $100 worth of pets, and then also pay $15 for a value pack. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but A, the value pack wasn't around back then, and B, I don't have an issue with the price of pets personally. I know a lot of people do, but I really don't. I think it's pets to me is literally what people can what anti I don't know. I don't know what to describe them as. Anti pay to winners. The pay to conveniencers, I don't know what to call them. The people who claim that everything that's pay to win in BDO is actually pay to convenience. Like, there's very few things in this game that I would say are what I would label as pure pay to convenience, and pets are one of them, honestly. Like, yeah, you can just pick up all the loot, and it's a pain in the ass and it's going to result in less money, but you can do it. Like, that is pay to convenience for me. I don't have a problem with that. Where you start dipping into pay to win is like, oh, now I can just make money by spending real life money, by selling costumes. Like, that's not pay to convenience. That's just pay to win, dude. Like,
yep, for sure. I just, yeah. I mean, I've had this argument a million times. I just think like there's nothing in BDO to win. Unfortunately, there's no ladder, there's no leaderboard, there's no esports scene, there's nothing to win. You're 99% of the game you're playing by yourself.
Yeah.
So it's basically pay to make yourself feel better, and then 99% of the time you're alone.
But here's what I was gonna say. You didn't let me finish what I was gonna
Yeah.
say. The obvious answer is, well, they should have gone subscribe to play instead of buy to play because that brings in constant money. But
Mhm.
I think the better answer to solve the money crisis that apparently BDO is in, that they needed to make it pay to win, why not just focus on cosmetics? Like,
Yeah, no, I agree.
why not? Like, dude, League of Legends has like 1 million people on their cosmetic team. They are putting out like 5 skins a week. You want to know why? It's because the game is free to play. They make literally no money from people playing it, so they have to put out as many interesting and cool skins as possible. And they do, and people buy them because they are good skins. So, like, your costumes are $30. They're already overpriced to shit, and yet everybody has one. Why would you not focus on making more like really cool and interesting costumes to keep selling to more and more players, you know? Like, I just think
Yeah.
like why, like, I don't get it. And especially lately, like once we caught up to Korea, the amount of costumes that were caught up or were released, like that come out, it's next to nothing. All
Mhm.
they do,
Yeah,
all they
no,
do now
I
is re-release old ones. Like,
I think they would make, first of all, if they had interesting costumes for everyone put out regularly, and if they, I'm telling you, they would make a fucking killing if they released a gender swap coupon for every class. They would make so much money. If you could just swap genders one time with the coupon and then you had to buy the coupon again if you want to swap back, people would be doing that shit all the time. And another one, if they added skill effect color change coupons, people would be wasting so much money on that shit because you'd play like a Sork would switch to blue. I'm telling you exactly what I would do. I would switch to blue, and after 4 weeks, I'd be like, dude, I really want my Sork to be red. I'm paying to switch. That shit would make them so much money. That plus releasing good costumes regularly. I know. I agree.
like imagine,
All right, I gotta move on.
imagine how much money they would make if they released one costume a week. Like they rotated through all the classes. So like they release a warrior costume. The next patch they released a sorceress costume. The next patch they release a Zerker costume. The next patch they release.
Yeah.
Like you see, like how, dude. Like if those costumes are actually halfway decent, which most of the costumes in BDO are at least decent. I don't think there's a lot of them that I would say are like terrible. So it's like, can you just imagine how much money they would make if they actually focused on that?
Right. All right, I gotta start getting ready for Siege. So I'm gonna power through these last 3. Tot Thorson, Tamers were very good when we could void travel, void lightning with you always where you went, not having to cast it, preemptively casting it, making sure you could safely pressure an opponent since void would go off as soon as you stopped. And started doing other skills. Good time. Smiley face. I actually don't remember that, but I don't remember. I'd have to see a video how that worked. Ezra EB says he got banned. What the fuck, White Knight? How do you feel? Defend your Lord and save your PA. He broke the terms of service, dude. Ezra EB also says Rezlar argues for the sake of arguing. Sometimes he has a point. Sometimes you two argue at parallels, and sometimes he argues boss pieces aren't that much better than green, and he does a face with steam coming out of the noses. I agree. Ambitious Panda says Archer is the best class, nerds. Not wrong. And that does it for our comments. I hope I didn't miss anybody. I don't think I did. I opened all the view replies that I saw. So yeah, I think we're good. If I did miss you, I apologize. All right. Do not forget to leave a comment on the video coming up. Vangertz was super awesome today, so say something nice about him. If you have any questions, we always read them on the show. Everything you ask, just try to keep it a little bit concise if you can, just to save us a little bit of time. Make sure you like the YouTube video. Make sure you share the YouTube video in your guild's discords, in game chat, Discord, whatever, yada yada yada. Just get it out there, word of mouth. We rely on you guys to share it. So yeah, if you have any problems or questions for the next time, let us know. We're excited to hear it.
And join the Discord. I don't think you said that.
I did not say that. Yeah, join the Discord
Join
if you
the
want to
Discord.
talk with us.
This is coming out. This is coming out hopefully on a Monday, which means on a Monday morning, which means around-ish 24 hours ago from when you're hearing this. We just had a community night morning thing, so you just missed that. Why? Because you're not in the Discord. So make sure you join it. We're still doing that, right?
Yes, community night. That's tomorrow.
Tomorrow, which is before this comes out.
You won't hear it in time. And then tonight I'm gonna try to do after sieges. Basically every week after siege, I'll put out a post in Value Pack. It'll be a little while after siege, but I'll do a King of the Hill and I'll stream during it.
Yep.
With people that want to PvP and fight in BA.
Anyway,
so thank you guys for listening. Thanks again, Vangertz, for coming on.
Join the Discord. Check out the tier list that we just did. Watch the whole thing before you judge us harshly for our opinions. And I think that's everything. Have a good one, guys.